Homecoming night at Kumler Field for the Badin Rams here on the Butler County High School Sports Report Radio Network. They are hosting a formidable and familiar foe, the Alter Knights. Good evening, everybody. Joel Sackenheim and Dr. Dan Vogt. Glad to have you with us here from the press box at Kumler. Dan, how we doing tonight?
I am doing super. I would rather be nowhere but this place right now.
Not an Earth, Wind, and Fire concert, right?
No.
Here?
No, I'd rather be here than Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Sorry about that, Dad.
Yeah, that's Joel's dad. He's at the Earth, Wind, and Fire concert. But Neil, he is a music aficionado. What can you say?
I wonder if Dirk Allen might be at the Earth, Wind, and Fire concert, too. He's not here tonight, inauspiciously so.
Wow.
All right, Badin Rams. I got to see them play Ross, I guess, a couple weekends ago. They're coming off a 62-0 stomping of the Carroll Patriots. Dan, tell us about Badin.
Badin, what can you say? I think this is the year they've really put it all together. I think Coach Yorty, he's been here a few years, and I'm seeing the growth in the program. And this is probably the pinnacle growth that Badin has had. Strong running, they can throw the ball. But I think the thing that makes Badin great this year has been their defense.
My goodness.
Oh, my goodness is right. Honestly, I feel like if Badin can put 14 points on the board, they'll have a probably greater than 50% chance of winning this game.
That's pretty good when your defense, because I see you've got the numbers out in front of you. 7 points given up to Mount Healthy, 7 to Bellbrook, nothing to Northwest, 17 points then to Roger Bacon.
And that was
14 of that was in garbage time at the end.
That's correct.
10 points to Ross, and then a shutout again last week against the Carroll Patriots. My goodness, Badin's defense coming out to play. Nick Marichello, number 53 in there, has been hitting people real hard, as well as Logan New on the defensive line. We're going to call his name, I'm sure, a lot tonight. Hunter Harrison, the big defensive tackle, number 77, 6'2", 270-pound senior. Lots of seniors on this Badin team.
And it's easy to fall in love with offenses, as everyone does when they watch football, but I really like to watch the defense. I like that. I like the guys inside, the snot-nosed football players that hit people hard.
And when it comes to the Alter Knights, it's going to typically be about stopping the run.
Yes.
Alter has famously come out here with Ed Domesites, who is quickly approaching Terry Malone's wins total.
Yes, he has.
I don't think a 2-4 record is exactly what Alter wanted to start this particular season.
Oh, I agree, but, being 2-4, you got to look at who they play. Now, they have upped their game as far as the quality of opponents. 2-4, they have had losses by teams that are higher divisions, okay?
Kettering Fairmont. That's their week one opponent. They share a stadium with them at Roush Field, kind of like the old relationship that Badin and Hamilton High used to have with Virtual Swarm.
That's right.
With the difference is they play each other in week one every single year.
Right.
Fairmont is up this year. You never quite know how good Fairmont is going to be. They are 4-2 this year, and they beat Alter 16-7. Of course, the win over Thurgood Marshall, and I had a friend of mine text me just this week and say Thurgood Marshall is the new Meadowdale. It's not an opponent that's going to get
Well, they actually played Thurgood Marshall.
Meadowdale did.
Yes, no. When they beat him, they played that old guy.
Just the one person.
Just the one person. That's how they won 49-0.
The Miamisburg game was a reschedule due to COVID. Alter was supposed to play Belmont, a Division II school, Dayton Public. They ended up having Belmont cancel that game. Alter had to scratch and claw and pick up a Miamisburg team that had lost their opponent at the very last minute, so very little scouting done for that game.
And Miamisburg is a Division I school also, so both of them
also 4-2.
Correct, and so both of the losses so far going over Alder's schedule have been to Division I teams.
And then when you're playing Akron Archbishop Hoban, the defending Division II state champions, I mean, that is really scheduling up. The Alter Knights. A nice win over Northwest on a very last-second field goal in the last play of the game. And then, of course, the loss last week at home to McNicholas, who is 6-0. No shame in losing to the Rockets. Badin and McNick may be on a collision course. They could potentially both be 9-0. I know Alter would like to have something to say about that.
Yes, they would.
When Badin and McNick play each other.
I guess if you look at – sure, I didn't mean to talk over there.
You're good.
So Badin played Northwest, and they defeated them 35-0. And Alter squeaked by 30-28. If you want to look at common opponents, that's the only thing we have going.
Badin, that certainly has got to make him feel somewhat good, although Nick Yorty certainly is not going to take the Alter Knights for granted in any way. You can never take the Alter Knights for granted because they are Alter.
Right, and that's why we wanted to go over their opponents with this 2-4 record. We want Badin to realize, that they're playing a formidable opponent, as Alter always is. Even when they have a 2-4 record, they're going to bring it tonight.
The numbers here are a little bit more balanced than you would think. Alter on the season with 742 passing yards and 1,035 rushing yards. It is not the typical Alter that you expect to see as far as trying to run for 400 yards a game.
No.
Though I would imagine that might be a little skewed due to playing from behind a little more than Alter normally does.
That you might have, that's a very good point. The crowd's roaring as the Badin Rams have run onto the field. Badin wearing their non-traditional, I would call it a Detroit Lions all gray, except, of course, accented with green.
Yes, the charcoal gray.
The charcoal, not the green and white Badin Rams, the gray and white and green Badin Rams. Very unusual.
And there's an old saying that the name on the back of the jersey doesn't matter, only the name on the front of the jersey matters. But in Badin's case, the name on the back of the jersey across the nameplate is Badin for all of them. That's very convenient, actually.
Yes, it is.
It doesn't match our roster, but it'll work.
Well, the uninformed might say tackle by Badin on the play and think that's they'd be right every time.
I think Army's got that going too. That the last name of everybody on their team is called Army. It's very convenient. When it works out
that works out.
The Alter Knights leading rusher is Chase Stone. He's got 344 yards on the season, 57 rushing attempts. He's number 7 on the roster.
Okay.
C.J. Hicks and Antonio Murphy Jr. and Jacob Schaefer, 4 guys, all with multiple carries in terms of more than 30 on the season. And that's synonymous with what you expect to see on a wishbone type of offense where you got the quarterback, the fullback, and the 2 tailbacks offset behind the fullback.
And I would say C.J. Hicks, amongst the 4 you just mentioned, he's probably the most versatile player for their offense because he is by far their leading receiver with 19 receptions for 282 yards, which is a solid 14.8-yard average. So maybe, like you said earlier, when Alter was falling behind, they were throwing the ball, and Hicks was the guy they were throwing it to.
Well, shoot, even when Ross was here a couple of weeks ago, they had only thrown the ball 8 times in the entire season up to that point, and they lost that game by 11 points. I'm sure Braden Fraseman had more than double the pass attempts in that one game than you would normally expect to see.
Well, it looks like, I don't know who won the toss, but it looks like Alter is receiving the opening kickoff here.
Jackson Neeson tees it up, kicking from right to left, from south to north across your screen. Hope you enjoy it. Here we go. Ball is away. A very short line drive to the up man.
Wow.
And it's fallen down upon by Jacob Schaefer of the Knights. Very alert. I don't know that it was exactly a surprise onside kick, but it definitely squibbed right into an up man. Fallen upon. Great field position for the Knights.
I've seen a similar play like that a few years ago where they intentionally tried to slam one right off the lineman and get it to bounce back. Maybe that intent was there, but you're right. He was right there and he recovered it. It gives Alter very good field position.
Alter's going to start this first drive tonight on their own 45-yard line.
Wow.
Wishbone formation, 1 wide receiver way out to the right, and we're going to play the shell drill game, Dan, and see who has the ball. The quarterback hands it off to one of the tailbacks.
Excellent.
That is Christian Karenga, it looks like, on the carry. Excuse me, it looks like 24. Sorry, Dylan Gatz on the carry. And that is going to be a gain of about 4 yards, maybe 5. We'll call it 5. They're at midfield.
I'll give the tackle to 17 on that for Badin. That would be T.J. Hayes.
2nd down and 5, wishbone formation. Look at the fullback back there.
He's a monster.
He's got some beef to him.
Yes.
Man goes in motion now. That's C.J. Hicks in motion going from to the right side of the formation. It's going to be a pass play. The quarterback
and
is
Badin.
wrapped up. Gavin Connor is wrapped up and sacked in the backfield. You see
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. That was excellent on Badin's half. That was Eli Emmons, their leading tackler for the season. I personally knew his dad. He was a pretty mean player back in the day, Dan Emmons. And Eli has inherited his father's feistiness, that is for sure.
And Gavin Connor tried to roll out on that play to the right, and Eli's coming.
Oh, yes.
It's third down dog night for the Alter Knights.
3rd and 12 here. Interesting, I'm watching Badin's defensive alignment here. They're running 4 up front.
Shotgun formation for Alter. How many times have we been able to say that over the last 20 years?
Never.
Connor's going to take the shotgun snap, takes a 5-step drop, hits the underneath man. That is Chase Stone. Chase Stone gets driven out of bounds right at the 50-yard line, gains the sack yardage back, but he's going to be 5 yards short of the sticks, and a 3-and-out forced by the Badin defense.
Excellent, Badin. They didn't let anyone get behind him. That was Eli Emmons once again on the tackle. Eli is coming, as Joel said. They're going to be punting from the 50-yard line here, Joel. So at least Alter can say that maybe they flipped the field position game so far early here.
Noah Marquez is the punter, looks like, for the Alter Knights. You got to love a punter number 98.
Oh, wow.
And 2 Rams back deep. That is Eric Rawlings. And
Yes.
Carter Russo, it looks like, back there. No, sorry, that is Braden Moore, number 11. Braden Moore catches the ball and is wrapped up immediately. It almost looked like a fair catch with the tackle, but I don't think his hand actually went up to signal the fair catch.
He was very fortunate to hang on the ball there, too, if you saw what I saw there, Joel. The ball, he tackled it, and the ball literally was outside of the defender, and he was holding it between the defender's back and his arms. It was interesting. And he still hung on to it.
Very uncomfortable. 25 yards of net punt yardage there on the play. The Badin Rams will begin their first possession of tonight's ball game at their own 25-yard line. Once again, they're going from right to left across your computer screen. Landon Vitterick, the quarterback, hands it to Jack Walsh up the middle. And Alter is ready for him.
Yes, they were.
Gains about 2 yards on the play. It's going to set up a 2nd down and 8. Badin, as Dan mentions, is in their alternate home grays. White, very large fonted numbers. We love the size of the font. Green outline, a little green, white, green pipeline down the side of the pants. White, green, white on the shoulder pads. White helmets, green stripe down the middle, and green numbers only on the left side of the helmet, so they are visible now as they go from right to left.
That's right.
Landon Vitterick, 2nd down and 8. This is going to be a pass play. Looks to the flat outside. Low throw to Braden Moore. He caught it.
Excellent catch.
Somehow hung on in a way that he didn't fall down.
Yes.
That ball was about 2 inches off the ground when it hit Braden Moore's hands. He brought it up high into his body and stumbled his way forward for a few extra yards. We're going to have a 3rd down and 2 now for Vitterick and the Rams.
Interesting situation here for Badin. It wouldn't surprise me if they did run the ball here, but it looks like from the formation they're probably going to throw. Oh.
And they handed off to Jack Walsh.
There
They crossed up Alter's defense. They crossed up you, Dan, and they needed 2. They got 3. First down for Badin.
That was a great call.
Little bit of a mini draw right up the center there. Spread everybody else out wide and hand the ball off up the middle.
Yeah, it was definitely a passing formation, and they hit him up the middle with the draw. It surprised me and Alter there. First down, Badin.
1st and 10, Landon Vitterick and the gray charcoal-coated Rams with the ball at their own 36-yard line. The skill players look over for Yordi to give him a hand signal, and now they've got the play on. Similar to a college style. Once again, this is a handoff to Walsh up the middle.
Oh, there he goes.
A lot of room.
He's all the way.
He's going to be untouched. Going 64 yards all the way to the end zone. Jack Walsh when I'm 64.
The parting of the Red Sea there on the give credit to the right side of the Badin offensive line between the center and the guard. Joel, that me and you could have went side by side and ran through that hole.
That hole was absolutely cavernous.
And the way the formation, the linebackers for Alter were towards the sides, so there was no one in the middle. Once he busted through, he was just gone.
Jackson Neeson on for the extra point. Badin lines everybody up traditionally to the left side, and that is the swinging gate. Sets everybody for a second. Snaps the ball. It's up. End-over-end kick is through. And the Badin Rams have a 7-0 lead. We'll be right back here at Kumler Field. You're listening to high school football coverage on the Butler County High School Sports Report Radio Network.
Looking for future leaders we can believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in Ohio. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It includes learning to listen, accepting responsibility, being a good role model, and it's about respect. The result, it transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and the Ohio Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Dan, I'm looking at the track on the home side. I don't think I've ever seen more cheerleaders at a high school football game.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, every grade school student in several of the Catholic grade schools are out there with the high school girls.
What do you say, 150 girls down there?
I mean, they could make a Coldwater-sized band out of that group, I think.
Well, it is homecoming, and they all get to come back and enjoy it, and even the ones that have never been to Badin yet.
And the ones that have never been to Kumler for a home game.
That is true.
Neeson kicks off a much deeper kick into the arms of C.J. Hicks, their leading rusher. Catches it around the 10, cuts back from right to left, goes a little north-south, up past the 20-yard line, gets tackled about at the 25.
Much better field position for Badin's defense as opposed to the last drive, which started at the 45.
Well, and I'll tell you what, Dan, Badin's kickoff game, we've gotten to see it plenty this year because they've scored a lot of points.
Yes, they have.
They don't seem to really have any rhyme or reason. There are squib kicks, there are long kicks, there are pooch kicks, there's attempts to get touchbacks, and
yes,
it's been a little of everything.
The only predictability is their unpredictability.
When you scout them, it can't really be all that easy to know what's coming.
That's right.
Gavin Connor is going to go ahead and run the wishbone formation again. He's got his line now all lined up for the Altar Knights. This is going to be a off-tackle run from left to right into the arms of Chase Stone, the leading rusher. Or one of the leading rushers.
Badin stuffed it pretty well there. Looks like he got just barely a yard.
Not a whole lot to work with there in the stout defensive line of the Badin Rams. Altar wearing their white tops, brown numbers, yellow shadow, brown pants with a little white and yellow streak down the side, yellow helmets with the traditional brown A down the side, and it looks like there's not exactly a stripe, but they do have the helmet stickers giving it the opinion of a stripe, depending on how successful each individual knight has been.
I like Altar's uniforms. I always have.
They are classic.
They are classic. They are classic.
Absolutely. Handoff. Out of the shotgun formation, that goes to Stone.
And he is stoned.
And he is stoned. Van Morrison, right? And it stoned me.
And it stoned me. Now, he wasn't stoned running. He was stoned by the Badin Ram defense. 3rd and 9 coming up, Joel. I think Altar's going to have to get out of their running tendency, obviously, here.
I found it really interesting on Altar's first possession. They gained 5 yards on the ground and then immediately went to the air. That is very strange. You would not normally see that out of an Ed Domesites coach team.
That's right. 4 wideouts, 2 on each side. Looks like they're in a pistol formation.
Deep pistol, almost shotgun. 3-step drop. Quick pass. Out pattern to Michael Russ. Russ catches the ball.
Excellent play.
Powers his way forward and gets just enough for the first down. Altar moves the chains for the first time tonight.
That was a huge play for Altar. You don't want to be punting the ball back to Badin. Still, high as a kite after the previous touchdown just a few minutes ago.
1st and 10 for the Altar Knights. They now have the ball at their own 35-yard line. Once again, the shotgun formation. We got 3 wide receivers. And the fullback lining up as a tight end, that's Antonio Murphy Jr.
Yeah, I don't recognize this Altar team.
To him.
This Altar team is...
And this is a pistol formation.
Yes,
it is. True pistol. Handoff to Stone.
Runs to the right.
He's got some hole. He's going to pick up close to the first down, about 9 yards as he runs toward the right sideline, going from left to right. Luna Mata on the tackle for the Rams. After a 9-yard gain, and this is what Altar traditionally loves, a 2nd and 1.
2nd and 1. Everybody loves a 2nd and 1. You are correct.
Well, Badin figured out a couple years ago. Remember a couple years ago when they lost to Ross and Talawanda the first 2 games and then totally changed their offensive formations?
Yes.
You wonder if Domesites is maybe doing some of the same things. If he's not getting what he wants out of his wishbone, once again, a pistol formation for his quarterback, Gavin Connor. He's going to keep it now.
He's got some room.
Tackle. He's bouncing it outside. He's past the 40-yard line. Tripped up and stumbled. Tackled by, it looks like Eli Emmons there right at the last possible moment.
And Lunamata also helping.
Lunamata helped as well. That's across midfield, and Alter with a very sizable chunk of yardage there. Alter's got a 1st and 10 now in Badin territory there at the 32-yard line going in. You cannot sleep on these Knights.
No, you can't. Their quarterback obviously has some wheels there. He pulled away from the Badin defense around the left end.
That's Gavin Connor, the quarterback. Once again, pistol formation with Stone behind him. Connor's going to do an option now.
It's a pitch.
Pitches it out to Stone. He's being stretched out wide.
Ooh.
He gets absolutely leveled. And that is Jeffrey Lunamata. Sticks his shoulder pad right into the chest of Chase Stone and pummels him backwards for no gain.
That was good old-fashioned hitting there. I heard a ooh all over the crowd. It's great.
It's always nice when you hear it, especially when it's not helmet to helmet, but just, just a good, solid football play, hard hit.
Oh, it was. It was a shoulder.
2nd down and 10 for the Alter Knights. Still in pistol formation. They do have a fullback, Antonio Murphy Jr., number 28, as an H-back to the right side over the right tight end. That's definitely the strong side of the offensive line, it looks like. This is a 3-step drop and a quick pass well over the head of C.J. Hicks. That was an uncatchable ball.
Yes.
And an incomplete pass.
He kind of rushed his throw a little bit. It looked like for Badin, that was Hunter Harrison, the defensive lineman, causing him to rush a little bit.
3rd down and 10 for the Badin Rams defense, the Alter Knights offense. We'll see what Alter has up their sleeves. Another passing type of situation. Pistol formation with Connor and then the running back Stone behind him. 2 receivers to the left side of the formation, which is the wide side of the formation. And this is going to be a handoff to Stone. He's going to bounce it toward the left, and 2 different penalty flags are thrown from each of the 2 line judges. Must have been an obvious hold on this play.
It was. I'm saying number 50 there for Alter with the hold. I'll get you his name shortly. That was Derek Shepard Jr.
And there is the holding penalty. We'll see if Yordi wants to take it.
Oh, absolutely.
It would be a 4th down and about 3 if they decided to decline the penalty, but I think they're going to go ahead and give Alter the down back and take the yardage.
Yeah, I would say 3rd and 20 over 4th and 3 any day of the week. But plus, they would have been down there in field goal range, Joel.
It's going to be a 3rd down and 19.
Okay.
I know we're both NFL fans. We're used to it just being a simple 10-yard penalty, but that hold happened 1 yard upfield, so the 10 yards get marked off from the 1 yard upfield. 3rd and 19 for the Alter Knights. 3 receivers. Quarterback in the shotgun with a running back alongside of him, maybe a step behind. This is a 5-step drop and a scramble situation for Connor. He's wrapped up by Hunter Harrison. He's going nowhere.
Harrison again with the big pressure. He is playing strong early here, Joel.
I don't know if that – is it statistically a sack if you get 0 yards because they spotted him right back at the same line of scrimmage?
Unfortunately for Hunter, it's not a sack. But that's okay. It was a heck of a play.
It's just as good as a sack, right?
Absolutely.
4th and 19, punting situation for Marquez and the Alter Knights. Once again, Moore and Rawlings deep for the Rams. Short kick.
He's wanting it to roll.
And I'll correct myself. It's A.J. Palmer, actually 96, not 98, is the punter.
Nice punt there, Joel. It hit probably around the 21-yard line and got a good roll for Alter. Went out of bounds down there at the 9-yard line, so they're pinning Badin back. So
little coffin corner action there, Dan.
Coffin corner with a roll, yes, sir. I love the coffin corner. It's a lost art.
All right, looks like Northwest Knights are up 6-0 over Edgewood right now. They missed a 2-point conversion.
And both Badin and Alter would be rooting for Northwest.
Would be rooting for Northwest. That's exactly right.
Second
Badin
level
and Alter has both beaten Northwest tonight. So that's a score of importance. Obviously, Edgewood fans that are listening are definitely not rooting for Northwest. Viderick's going to run a quarterback power from right to left. Tries to stiff arm a man. Does stiff arm a man. That would be number 10, Mike Lance, that gets stiff-armed. But Viderick ends up running out of bounds under his own power, gains about 5.
Yeah, that was nice. The stiff arm there enabled him to have a gain. Otherwise, it would have been probably a no gain. So he sprung himself free for 5 yards.
2nd down and we'll call it 5, a long 5.
Yeah.
It's kind of about 5.5 there. And once again, shotgun formation with 4 wide receivers for the Badin Rams. Now all the skill players once again look over toward the coaching staff to get a play call or an audible at the line. Down to 10 seconds left on the play clock. Handoff to Walsh up the middle.
Here he goes.
Punches it through, and he's got enough for a first down. He's small, but quick.
Yes, he is. I'm trying to find an analogy here. Dave Meggett, New York Giants.
Meggett.
There you go.
If you're a little bit younger, you might say Darren Sproles.
Darren Sproles.
Might be another potential that you'd be seeing
Very good.
That's going to be enough for a first down. Badin's going to have 1st and 10 now at their own 24-yard line as we are below 4 minutes left to go now in the first quarter of play. Badin up 7-0 already. Handoff goes to Walsh, and the turf monster tackles him in the backfield. Sorry, that is not Walsh. That is Carter Russo spelling Walsh.
Joel, what actually happened was the quarterback stepped on the running back's foot.
Ow.
And that's why he fell. So
tackled by his own quarterback. And no, if you have Landon Vitterick in your GCL fantasy team, you do not get a point for the tackle.
No, Vitterick doesn't want to take credit for any tackles there.
That's going to be a loss of 3 there for the Rams. That was back in the backfield when that happened. 3 receivers to the right. Now in motion goes Rawlings. The pass goes to Moore on the out route. And he is wrapped up and tackled beautifully by Christian Karenga of the Alter Knights.
It's good pronunciation there, Joel. I would have just called him Christian. Good job.
3rd down and 9 now for the Badin Rams. They are at their own 25-yard line.
Now, this is the play that, kicking the ball out of bounds at the 9, Alter expects to flip the field here. So this is big for Alter's defense. We'll see what Badin does.
We're going to see also how aggressively Yordi wants to take this as Alter now presses the receivers and now backs off again, trying to pre-snap motion a little bit. Vitterick's going to take off and run.
There he goes.
For the first down, he will.
Excellent.
Wiggles his way through the middle of the Alter defense. Alter was in man coverage. That means you turn your back to your quarterback, and he took off and ran. Had enough room to get about 8 yards over the center, then took it to the right, picked up the extra yardage he needed, and ran out of bounds without taking a hit.
I'll tell you, Vitterick is quick, isn't he, Joel?
He's deceptively fast.
Yes, very good.
He had a big 66-yard touchdown quarterback power run against Ross to break that game open a couple weeks ago here on this field.
He's kind of a mini Joe Burrow.
He wishes he had Joe Burrow's arm talent, right?
Well,
Landon's done a nice show, although I've never seen Burrow punt, to tell you the truth.
That's true.
Jack Walsh takes the handoff. He runs for about 2 yards up the middle before Alter's defense snuffs him out. It's going to be a 2nd down and 8 now for the Badin Rams. Down below 2 minutes left to go in quarter number 1. So far, Badin has had the better of the action so far, Dan?
Yes. Well, this is a nice little drive here. They've, strung together 3 first downs, but starting at the 9, at least they're getting out of their own shadow.
All the receivers to the left side of the formation. A quick out pattern to Braden Moore. Catches it, turns it upfield. Has got enough for the first down. Approaching midfield and is scored it out of bounds by Michael Russ.
Beautiful.
And the ball goes to Badin's own 49-yard line.
Beautiful, accurate throw, Joel. Hit him in the move on the run. Didn't have to wait for the ball. Beautiful.
Badin does not look afraid to throw the football.
No, they don't.
Sometimes you see those little underneath routes, and you expect with the Ultra teams in the past they would jump the route and a pick 6 would happen. Vitterick has no fear and just kind of floating that ball nice and effortlessly out there to these receivers.
Well, when you're a senior like he is, he's seen a few of these games. He knows what to do.
He's one of the very few Badin quarterbacks that has ever beaten Alter.
Oh, nice
Jack
broken
Walsh
tackle.
Breaks the tackle, bounces it
Breaks
toward
another
the left.
tackle.
He's up that sideline and finally
goodness.
ran out of real estate along the sideline, but not before he gains about 20 yards.
Joe, he was high stepping it. His knees were going as high as his chest, and guys were bouncing off of him. I haven't seen many running backs run with their knees that high. That's impressive.
A bit of a Le'Veon Bell style of run. He kind of got lost in the offensive line and then reappeared coming out the left side of it. And everyone's like, you got there?
Well, just so you guys know, that play got Badin all the way down to the Alter 33-yard line. First down for the Rams here. This is turning into quite a drive.
Rams are marching. Now they again look back at Yordi for a hand signal for their play. Trips wide receivers to the right side of the formation, which is the wide side of the field. Blitzer coming. Picked up by Walsh. A second blitzer coming. Vitterick slips out. The first blitzer, C.J. Hicks, wraps him back up after he broke Walsh's block, and that is a loss of 5 yards, maybe 6. Alter the sack, Dan.
Alter guessed well on D there. They thought Badin was going to throw, obviously, and they hit him at the right time with the blitz.
They sent one more guy than Badin could block. Walsh made a really nice block on C.J. Hicks to give Viderick some time, but the second guy, the linebacker that came in right behind Hicks through the exact same hole, Walsh couldn't get them both.
No, he couldn't.
That made Landon Viderick flush up in the pocket where C.J. Hicks could shed the block and make the tackle for a 6-yard loss.
Yes, only a 6-yard loss, though.
Could have been much worse.
Could have been.
For the
Pitch.
Rams. This is Russo. Wrapped up once again, C.J. Hicks in the backfield. He's a two-way player, as we see. And
yes, Hicks has probably been the best player on the field for Alter tonight.
This is a tackle for a loss after a sack. I guess they're both tackles for losses, technically, for C.J. Hicks. And Badin can let this thing run to the end of the first quarter, and that's exactly what the Rams are going to try to do. A third and very long for Badin.
15 to be precise.
Awaiting them on the other side of this commercial break. On the other side of the field. We have reached the end of quarter number 1, homecoming at Kumler Field. It is the Badin Rams 7, the Alter Knights nothing. You're listening to the Butler County High School Sports Report Radio Network.
Hey, sports fan! Did you know the OHSAA is among the national leaders in social media? Check out the OHSAA's social media platforms for news, tournament information, accomplishments, helpful links, and all the items available in the fan guide, including photos, DVDs, and publications. Check out OHSAA Sports on Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, and Instagram. And who knows, you may be the next featured face.
Down on Pippin Road, the Edgewood Cougars have just scored their first touchdown tonight. They made the extra point, and so Edgewood now has a 7-6 lead over the Northwest Knights. Chaminade Julienne up 21-0 already after a pick 6. They're playing the Carroll Patriots, who Badin got to see last week and beat them 62-0. Carroll is in for a rough season.
Yeah, 83 points now in a row that Carroll has given up without scoring.
Oof.
Ooh.
3rd and 15, and probably actually 17 for the Badin Rams here. And we'll see again how aggressively Coach Yorty wants to go as C.J. Hicks lines up looking for a blitz. This is going to be a handoff up the middle.
Don't know about that call.
Actually, no, he kept it. He kept it himself up the middle.
I think it was a straight quarterback draw, Joel. And Alder said none of that.
Not a lot of room there for the Rams.
No, I think, well, he got 3 yards. So 4th and 17, Badin's going to be punting from their own 38-yard line.
Viderick is the punter.
Let's see if Viderick can do a little coffin corner style kick.
And he is dropping back now into punt formation. CJ just scored again. It's 27-0 over Carroll. He's got 5 minutes left to go in the first quarter.
He is trying the coffin corner.
It is going to be short of the end zone, but it's going to be well short of the end zone. We'll see how short of the end zone. Referee's walking.
It's going to be
the estimation game. He'd been better off kicking it to the end zone.
Oh, my goodness.
They're going to spot Alter now at the 24-yard line. That really, I know what Viderick was trying to do there.
Oh.
That did not go nearly as well as he wanted there.
Yeah, what was that, a net of 14
yards?
14
yeah. Yards.
I always like it when the officials know that the ball goes out of bounds at exactly the perfect yard marker. It's never the 34.5. It's always exactly on a yard.
Well, it's always interesting seeing the sideline referee put his hand up in the air and start marching up the yard markers as some other referee is signaling an estimation of where it goes out.
Right.
1st down and 10 for the Alter Knights. Shotgun snap, handoff to Stone. He's up the middle. He is stopped for a very minimal gain. That is T.J. Hayes that wraps him up, and a gain of 2. Yeah, Dan, it always, when I see that sideline official walking up those yard markers,
right,
it always reminds me, it looks like the cliffhangers on The Price is Right.
Oh, excellent, excellent. Bob Barker would be proud, sir.
Refereeing crew tonight wants to remind all audience members and radio listeners to have your pets spayed or neutered. 2nd down and 8 for the Alter Knights in the shotgun formation. This is once again Gavin Connor.
He is tripped up.
And
nice.
He's not going to get much.
Harrison, once again, for Badin.
We've called that name a lot. Hunter Harrison.
He is a hunter
77.
tonight, that is for sure.
And that's going to be a loss of 1. I think that's a designed running play. So, again, statistically, not a sack. Poor Harrison's. Can I just get a sack, please? Please. It's a tackle for a loss.
3rd and 9. Let's look at what they're going to line up at. Okay, so they have 2 receivers, both sides split. Man in motion to the right.
Goes in motion. And this is going to be a looking pass going to the left.
They threw it short.
C.J. Hicks catches it. He's dragging one Ram with him, but he's not quite going to have enough for the first down.
That was a heck of an effort, though. He was dragging him. When he caught the ball, Joey is 5 yards short of the first down marker or the line to gain. He dragged it, made it 4th and 1, but I don't see Alter going for it, not this far down on their side.
Here's a score at the end of the first quarter that may be a little bit surprising.
Yes.
The Aiken Falcons lead Withrow 6-0 at the end of the first. Withrow has only lost 1 game this year. Aiken right now is 21st. They are behind Alter in the rankings, but Withrow is worth 28.5 points tonight.
Wow.
If Aiken can knock them off.
Alter is punting. It's a short punt, Joel.
And it's going to hit in the middle. Watch out, everybody. Peter, as everybody runs away from the ball. Just across midfield. It landed in the middle of about 10 different bodies, but never struck anybody.
Amazing.
Rolled sideways, and Alter downs the ball at Badin's 46-yard line. Badin will have a 54-yard field to start this drive, and they've officially flipped some field position.
Yeah, 25-yard punt there. We're not seeing – the last 2 punts have not been very successful, but I'm sure it'll do better.
A lot of people were talking before tonight's game about, does Alter have to win this game tonight to get into the playoffs? Certainly, if they do win this game tonight, 32 second-level points will go Alter's way, and Alter will be squarely in the playoff conversation.
Yeah, currently they're 18th in the region, the same region as Badin, and they have to get in the top 16.
They're outside looking in
right now, which is amazing. It's amazing.
They are not used to that. I will disagree with that in a second. It's first down and 10. Viderick's got a long drop, throws it to Braden Moore. It's a little tall. Moore jumps, slips through his hands, and there's a flag right by where Viderick threw that ball. It's going to be a holding penalty on Badin, and the holding penalty is 6 or 7 yards in the backfield. This is going to be like a 16 or 17-yard penalty, Dan.
Wow.
Now, I would suggest that the Alter Knights could absolutely still make the playoffs even if they lose tonight. Their last 3 games are C.J., Fenwick, and Carroll.
Okay.
Carroll's not going to give him any points, but Carroll is playing CJ tonight. That'll bump up what CJ's worth.
Assuming CJ wins.
They're already up 27-0 7 minutes into that game.
Okay.
And then Fenwick and Carroll play each other still the last week of the season, so more points will be added there. I think Alter will be able to milk just enough points to get in if they win their last 3.
Well, look what they did last year. They got in, and they were what were they seeded?
They were 6th last year.
Yeah, and they beat all the big boys ahead of them.
Thanks to Dayton Dunbar deciding to cheat on their ballot.
Oh, God.
Viderick's going to run a quarterback power. Just running out of room very quickly there and wrapped up and finally tackled. He was spun down by C.J. Hicks, and Hicks spun him in a way that Viderick's rear end landed on Hicks himself.
Excellent.
Therefore, no whistle was blown. Viderick stood back up, having not officially been tackled, still in Hicks's arms.
And he lost more yards.
2nd down now, and about
22. Yeah, it's a long way away.
Yeah, Badin had the field position, and now they clearly don't.
We'll see what they do.
Handoff to Walsh up the middle. Bounces off one tackle and then is wrapped up. He's a slippery little sucker. He's got Crisco on his jersey. And Linnell Collier brings him down for the Alter Knights.
They were trying to catch fire there again. It was the same play he popped for the touchdown, the 64-yard run, but Alter defended it nicely. It's going to set up a 3rd down, and it looks like 17.
The hard thing about Jack Walsh, you got to find him first.
That's true.
5'8", 175 pounds. He is 2 inches smaller than I am. 3rd down and 16 for the Badin Rams. 3 receivers to the left side of the formation. Here's the snap. Viderick looking the short side. A deep pass intended for Eric Rawlings. It was a fly pattern in man coverage and slightly overthrown. And this is going to be a punting situation for the Rams.
This game is settling into what I said. It might take 14 points for Badin, and that might be what they need to win the game. I'm just saying. Badin's defense is strong, and Alter is playing strong too.
End of the first quarter at Cardinal Stadium. It is Coleraine and Lakota East knotted up at 0. Eaton and Brookville also tied up at 0 at the end of the first quarter in their game. A lot of defense out there.
Nice
Bitterick
kick.
Boosts a punt inside the 20, takes a bounce. Inside the 10, it continues to roll down end over end, all the way down to the 5-yard line. That is a 55-yard punt.
Compared to the 24, he made up for that one, certainly. Wow.
Not as long as the 60-yard punt that he had against Ross, or 62-yard punt he had against Ross, but 55-yard punt where you can rip that thing off.
My goodness.
Bitterick does a good job as a quarterback, but his punting may actually even be better.
And that might get him his college scholarship, Joel.
It is
he
definitely
can kick
possible.
like that.
That's a wonderful punting job there. Punters' lives matter, as they say. And 1st and 10 for the Alter Knights, now back in their wishbone formation.
They're at the 7-yard line.
7-yard line, it looks like.
Yep.
Generous spot. Handoff to Stone, running past the tailback, and is plastered and planted down about 3 or 4 yards upfield. They get down to about the 12-yard line.
That's a nice gain for Alter on 1st down. Anytime you can pick up 5 yards when everyone knows you're running the ball, that's pretty good.
Get the ball out of the shadow of your own goal line.
It's like they moved it back, so it looks more like a 4-yard gain.
End of the first quarter at Firebird Stadium. Lakota West leads Fairfield 14-0, and they've got the ball at the 2-yard line trying to punch it in when the second quarter will start there for Coach Bolden and the Lakota West Firebirds. 2nd down and 7 for Alter. Again, wishbone formation. Handoff to Stone again. The quarterback, Connor, actually fell down after he handed him the ball. He's lucky he got rid of it.
Yeah, without fumbling it, right. And Badin was there right on the spot, so it's going to set up, looks like about a 3rd and 6 for Alter. 6 minutes, 21 seconds to go here. Second quarter, Badin leading 7-0.
Here's something I did not expect to see looking at Alter's roster.
Yes.
Gavin Connor, the quarterback, is a freshman.
Oh, my goodness.
So, Badin, you're going to see him 3 more years, it looks like. Gavin Connor.
We'll be calling his name a lot.
3rd and 5. Once again, wishbone. Connor tries to get a hard count to get a jump off sides. He's unsuccessful. Scrambles outside.
It's intercepted!
Intercepted by the Rams.
Oh.
Carson Cheek with the pick. Intercepted it around the 15-yard line. Jumped the route. Hard to throw out of a wishbone-tight formation there. And runs it just inside the 10. It's 1st and goal for Badin. Huge turn of events.
You could see when Alter's quarterback released that ball, he's like, oh, I wish I could have that back. I mean, he knew it when he let it go. Oh, huge play by the Badin Ram defense. They're going to be down at the 6-yard line, 1st and goal here. We have 5:50 to go in the second quarter. Badin is up 7-0.
Rams trying to stretch this thing out to a 2-score game. You can make Alter have to throw the ball even more, obviously, if you can do that.
Absolutely.
McNick took the entire game to shake off Alter. And in the sudden change of events there and all the excitements and commotion, Badin was unable to get their play in quick enough time. So Coach Yorty is going to take a timeout. We're going to take it with him here. It is 7-0 Badin Rams. We're down to 5:50 left to go in the second quarter here at Kumler Field.
Hey, sports fan! Did you know the OHSAA is among the national leaders in social media? Check out the OHSAA's social media platforms for news, tournament information, accomplishments, helpful links, and all the items available in the fan guide, including photos, DVDs, and publications. Check out OHSAA Sports on Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, and Instagram. And who knows, you may be the next featured face.
Western Buckeye League scores. Elida leads Wapakoneta 7-3. St. Mary's Memorial leads winless Kenton by a score of 27-0 at the end of the first quarter.
How are my Rough Riders doing this year,
The
Joe?
Memorial Rough Riders are in 5th place in the region right now just behind Ross. They're not going to pass them tonight because they play a winless
I can just
opponent.
see St. Mary jumping up on a horse riding with the Rough Riders.
First and goal. Bitterick, quarterback sweep toward
He's
the right.
got room.
Got blockers.
Touchdown.
Untouched. And into the end zone he goes.
That was too easy.
My goodness.
Very well diagnosed, just executed play.
Landon Bitterick, a 6-yard touchdown run, and he's untouched all the way to the end zone. Neeson's extra point is up. It is good. The Badin Rams up 14-0 now on Alter after Carson Cheek's interception flips the field and gives Badin everything they need to punch that ball in.
And give credit where credit's due. The Bitterick punt, what was it, 55 yards?
55-yard punt.
Pitting Alter way down.
Here's a second quarter score for you, Dan. You ready for this one?
Sure.
The Wilmington Hurricane leads winless Goshen by a score of 4-0, and that is not a typo. 2 safeties for Wilmington. As they lead Goshen.
It's a Category 4 Hurricane.
Category 4 Hurricane, yes, yes. Wilmington is a team that both Edgewood and Ross have beaten, so some second-level points. If Wilmington can squeeze a few more safeties out of that game, keep winning that game 2 points.
They are so dominant, they're just going to win by scoring safeties. To heck with touchdowns and field goals.
Just punt the ball inside the 10 and put a Goshen's offense on the field. They've not won a game yet. What do we care?
That's the way we're going to win it. Nothing but safeties.
What do they say? They used to say trust your defense, right?
Oh, absolutely. They are.
CJ has scored again. They're still in the first quarter at Glass Stadium.
We have
Shout out Julia, 35-0.
We have a running clock there in the first half. Wow.
Do they do a running clock in the first half, or do they wait till halftime? I don't know.
No, I think they do it. I think they wait till halftime. But you know what? They could probably do it now. It might be nicer.
Roger Bacon leads CHCA 21-0. There's good news, Badin fans.
Yes, it is.
4.5 more second-level points there if you can get it. Long kickoff from Neeson, right into the hands of 2 different Alter players who run into each other and collide. Then go ahead, and Christian Karenga is going to run it out past the 10-yard line to about the 20-yard line, and that is where Alter will start their next possession. Badin also got 4.5 second-level points last night when Bellbrook knocked off the Madison Mohawks.
And did you notice, Joel, there? Well, you're Mr. Playoff seedings. Bellbrook's slowly creeping up. I think they're third or second. They're
second.
Right behind Badin now.
And the odd thing about that matchup with Bellbrook and Madison last night, Madison had not won a game. So
wow.
Bellbrook picks up 0 second-level points and gives Badin 4.5. Badin actually expands their lead over Bellbrook with Bellbrook's win.
that is odd.
First down and 10 now in the shotgun formation for Gavin Connor. He's got Stone next to him, and he's going to go ahead and hand it off. Little zone read, and that was a handoff following the lead blocker, Antonio Murphy Jr., and he's going to pick up about 5, maybe 6 yards. Solid gain there, Dan.
Solid gain, yeah, but look at this. We have 5 minutes to go in the first half, and it's 14-0 Badin. And just like I said early on, 14 points with this Badin defense might be all they need.
I'm still waiting to see Antonio Murphy Jr. carry the ball. We don't have a height and weight on him on our Alter roster, but he is sizable. The H-back there for
Yeah, he looks like he's 250.
Stone again is going to take the handoff.
Oh.
There's a flag coming down there as he runs it easily enough for the first down without the flag. However,
Mr. Harrison for Badin was tackled in the backfield, and the poor Alter Knight is pleading his case. I'm trying to get his number there, Joel. He's the 20. Is it 28? His jersey's pulled really tight.
28 is the big fullback H-back.
Okay.
That's Murphy Jr.
Murphy Jr. is the one who tackled Harrison.
Unfortunately for Alter, or maybe fortunately for Alter, Harrison did not have the ball when he was tackled. Thus, a 10-yard penalty for the Knights. And it will be second down and 15 now for Alter as we are below 5 minutes remaining here in the second quarter of play.
Let's keep an eye on this play clock, Joel, and see how Coach Yorty of Badin handles this.
Hard to know just how aggressive you want to play. It is the Alter Knights, after all. You got to respect them.
You do.
Fake handoff to Stone. This is his own read. Connor keeps it, the quarterback.
Nice run.
Breaks it past the 20-yard line. Finally tackled there by Caden Starks.
And a little help from Eli Emmons, too.
Emmons comes in late to kind of help Starks clean it up. And Connor gains about half of the yardage required there. It's going to set up a 3rd down and a little more manageable for Alter. 3rd and 7 now for the Knights.
We have 4 minutes and 14 seconds to go here in the first half. That's why I brought up the clock earlier.
Badin's had a couple nice drives tonight against Alter's defense. Don't underestimate how hard that is, too.
Yes.
Alter is typically a very strong defensive team. Pistol formation, 3rd and 7. Handoff again to Stone. He's going to bounce it toward the outside.
And he is stoned.
Tries to cut it up. The brick wall that altered his direction was Logan New, although he didn't actually wrap him up, so he's not going to get credit for a tackle there, but he did every bit as much as you would need to create the tackle on the play.
Joel, they only got 2 yards on that play. Interesting play call. What do you think of that, Joel?
Well, they don't trust the passing game, apparently. They just threw a pick the last time they threw it.
See, Badin right now is lining up at around their own 45-yard line to get the punt.
This is the conundrum for Alter and a lot of teams is if you can't run the ball against Badin, you have to throw it, but if you don't trust that you can throw it.
Short kick, very short
roll
kick.
Back. A friendly, slight Badin bounce as it rolls kind of laterally. And Alter's going to finally touch the ball at their own 46-yard line after the punt
21-yard
by A.J.
punt.
Palmer. They're going to now give Badin the ball at the 46-yard line. When you are a Badin team that likes to play defense and defense is your thing,
Yes.
don't underestimate the difference between the other team's punter punting it for 20, 25 yards and your punter punting it for 50.
Very well said.
I mean, those are hidden yards that are not going to show up all that well in the box score.
A 21-yard punt is a 21-yard punt. I mean, whether you have defense or not, that's the bottom line. And Badin is starting in excellent field position.
Handoff to Walsh. Up the middle he goes.
Walsh is flying.
Breaks 2 tackles and finally wrapped up by C.J. Hicks deep in the secondary. It's going to be a gain of about 17 yards, and Badin is in business.
Oh, my goodness, he can fly. He is like a little water bug, isn't he?
Scat back. I know you said Dave Meggett. My comparison I love to give is a Darren Sproles.
Darren Sproles.
Who's also very small.
Absolutely.
Back that could just kind of knife his
Well,
way
he was
through.
5'8", Sproles was, and that's the Walsh size.
There it is. 1st and 10. Once again, the handoff to Walsh. Bounces off the tackles up the middle, but bounces back right back into the tackles up the middle. And that is going to be Max Homan who wraps him up for Alter. It's going to be a loss of 1 on the play.
It looked like an electric football play there, Joel.
He kind of did.
And they just kind of stuck and spun, and that was it. Lineman swinging
Second and
around.
11. Yeah, not a lot of room there for Walsh. He tried to bounce off, but there was nowhere to bounce off to.
I remember I was so proud I bought electric football for my boys. We'll tell you this story after this play.
Second down and 11. Bederick's going to keep it now. Fakes it to Walsh. He's going to run it only for about 2 yards for the Alter defensive line stuffs him, and it's going to set up a 3rd and 9.
We had electric football leagues on my block. We had neighbors that brought their own teams. We brought their own fields. We had standings.
Serious?
Hours and hours of play. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
So I bought a set for my boys. They were probably 8, 9 years old.
Yep.
And after about 10 minutes, they looked at me and they said, "How long did you play this for, Dad?"
Wasn't quite the same as Madden, was it?
No, it's not the same as Madden.
A minute and a half left to go on the game clock here. Badin's got to keep an eye on that as well if they convert this first down. 3rd and 10. Bederick.
Ooh.
No time. Hicks going to try to wrap him up, flushes him out left. He's going to get outside but run out of real estate and is ushered out of bounds by Mike Lance. Not going to gain any yards. Is going to stop the clock. It's going to be 4th down, but they're inside the 30-yard line, Dan. They're the 29. Do you go for it?
Yes, you do. I mean, there's only a minute 17, so even if Alter holds them, you're still looking at a 70-yard drive potentially for Alter, and timeouts left. Alter does have all 3 of their timeouts.
They do.
And Badin is going for it, Joel. They're setting up. They have 3 Receivers on the right.
4th and 9 for the Rams at the Alter 29-yard line. Shotgun snap. Blitz coming. Roll out right. He's got time. Man coverage.
He's got it.
Caught at the 10. Breaks the tackle. Jumps on his right foot 3 times in a row and triple jumps into the end zone before falling out of bounds.
What a play. Braden Moore. Wow. He did hop on his right foot 3 times. He was trying to avoid running out of bounds.
He was, and he did. If he got his left foot down, he would have fallen out of bounds. He knew it kind of.
He was playing Foursquare out there, if you remember that game. Goodness sakes.
How much money can you save with Liberty Mutual? Jackson Neeson's kick is up and good. That is a 29-yard touchdown pass.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I've never seen Badin up 21-0 on Alter in my lifetime. This is outstanding for Badin.
Wow. Now I've seen a lot of Badin Alter games.
Yes.
In my life, and Alter won 22 in a row of these suckers.
Oh yes.
They had won all these. I went down to Florida. Alter kept winning. I got back up to Ohio. Alter was still winning. That stopped just a couple of years ago. Badin has won 3 out of the last 4 now against the Alter Knights, although Alter eliminated them in the playoffs last year.
Well, when Badin finally broke the streak, what year was that?
I think that was 2019.
Okay, I was on vacation, so I had to get the score from joeidol.com. That's the only way I could even know what happened there. And I was stunned. I was like, oh, the streak is broke. And it's the one time I couldn't see the game, of course. And it happened.
Let's see here. 2018, Badin lost to Alter 17-7. 2019, that was the year they lost to Ross for the only time in school history.
Wow.
And then managed 5 or 6 weeks later to beat Alter 42-7.
Oh, I thought it was a typo when
and took them again in the playoffs that year as well.
Yeah,
then they beat him again last year in regular season play, and then Alter, of course, ended up winning the playoff matchup. And then Alter went the next week and knocked off Ross down at Robinson Field to win the entire regional as the 6th seed. You can never sleep on Alter.
No.
Ever. Kick is up. It's going to be caught by Colin Wayner. He's going to run it parallel, east-west. Gets about 3 or 4 yards only, and is tackled inside the 20-yard line by a feisty Badin special teams.
I couldn't quite get the number on that one, Joel.
And actually, I remember, I think it was last year.
Jack Walsh with the tackle. There you go.
I think you wanted to bet me
on
the Alter-Ross game after Alter had knocked off Badin.
That's right.
And I took Alter.
I know you did.
And you took Ross.
Ross was on fire. Their offense was amazing.
And in my mailbox the next week was a letter from Dr. Daniel Vogt, DDS, that had a $5 bill in it, and it said 3 things you can always count on: death, taxes, and never, ever bet against Kettering Alter.
That is correct.
Stone takes the handoff up the middle for the Knights.
I learned my lesson, Joel. I'll never bet against them again. Even last year, I thought, and then they beat Badin in the playoffs last year.
After 3 straight Badin wins.
Yes.
McNicholas, of course, they are 6-0, and they knocked off Alter for the first time in 22 years last week.
And we will be talking about McNicholas at halftime, Joel, because you told me a few interesting facts about McNicholas, so stay tuned for that. That's going to be a big game coming up. 2nd
down and 8 now, as we're down below 30 seconds left to go in the second quarter. The handoff again to Stone. Alter's just trying to get in at halftime to stop the bleeding right now.
Honestly, at this point, a knee might even be safer.
It's going to be 3rd down. Clock is running down below 10 seconds. Alter in absolutely no hurry to do anything with it here. And the Badin Rams are going to have a 21-0 halftime lead over the rival Alter Knights.
So when you look at 21-0, you say great for the Badin offense. But once again, the unheralded Badin defense, which we spoke of earlier tonight, in their victories, they've given up 7 points, 7 points, 0, 17, which was 2 late touchdown mop-ups. So potentially 3 if you want to be.
3 for most of the game.
3 for most of the game, and 10 and 0.
And another 0 here at halftime at Kumler Field. Badin has not given up any points in the last 6 quarters worth of play. And it is 21-0 Rams. We'll be right back here at Kumler Field. You're listening to high school football on the Butler County High School Sports Report Radio Network.
Looking for future leaders we can believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in Ohio. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It includes learning to listen, accepting responsibility, being a good role model, and it's about respect. The result, it transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and the Ohio Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Halftime at Kumler Field. It is homecoming, so I'm sure we're going to have all the different homecoming festivities for the Badin Rams and their student
Interesting that Badin scheduled altar for homecoming. Usually you want to...
That's really odd.
Yeah, you want to schedule a team that you think you can probably beat, and they schedule potentially the toughest team on their schedule.
Well, I think...
outside of Bellbrook, maybe.
I think the way this goes...
Yeah, okay.
And going back to my high school days when they were playing at Virgil Schwarm.
Right.
Which is a similar setup to this, where you host the game on Friday night if the team that owns the high school is on the road.
Right.
And you have to move it to Saturday night if the host team that owns the high school is also playing a home game that weekend.
Right.
I think oftentimes, and Badin has played Alter multiple times as homecoming opponents in the past, not because we want to schedule Alter, oh my gosh, but because it's a Friday night game instead of a Saturday night game. Therefore, you can put the dance on Saturday night, and everybody can stay up really late and sleep in on Sunday morning.
But as you know, with that streak, that terrible streak where Alter just crushed Badin year after year.
Alter doesn't think it's terrible.
Yeah, it makes for a sad beginning of the homecoming weekend for the Badin Rams.
Alter was pretty proud of that streak for a long time.
They loved it. They loved it.
All right, end of the first quarter. End of the first quarter was tied between Talawanda and Ross. DeAndre Bothus Reveille has just scored a touchdown on the first play of quarter number 2. Talawanda is now up 6-0 over the Ross Rams.
Wow.
That is early still there. There's a lot of time left for Ross, but wow, that's not the score.
How's the Monroe Hornets doing, the offensive juggernauts? They're up to number 3, aren't they, in the playoffs?
Yes, let's look at this, shall we?
Okay, we shall.
All right, here
By
it
the
is.
way, we had our touch of greatness here earlier tonight, didn't we, Joel?
We saw Thumb earlier tonight.
Tom Brenneman. What a great guy, I'll tell you.
He could not have been nicer. And
Joel was giving Tom an explanation of the Ohio high school playoff systems, and Tom was listening intently. And
Tom was asking more questions than anybody else does when they look at this thing.
Oh, he was fascinated.
He wanted to know about Merrimont, or somebody he knew. I think it's probably his kid went there.
He said his son goes to Merrimont. That's what he told you.
To know about them and Wyoming and the Cincinnati Hills League, and yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I told him the thing that he's probably heard a million times. I grew up listening to your dad.
Oh, I told him that earlier tonight too.
Did you really?
Oh, yeah, I love
Everyone probably tells him that.
Absolutely. The Eaton Eagles up 14-7 over Brookville.
Yes.
Wilmington has scored 2 touchdowns now, so the score is not going to look 4-0 anymore. It's now 18-0. They're letting their offense decide to play a little bit too. That's kind of nice of them to allow a little bit of complimentary football, although a 4-0 final score would have been absolutely hilarious.
Wow.
All right, so this is Division III, Region 12. 5 of the 6 GCL co-ed schools are in this region. The only one that is not is the aforementioned McNicholas Rockets. They are in Division 4. We'll look there in a second. Badin has an enormous lead.
So if you're on YouTube, you can look at the screen with us.
If you're on YouTube, you can actually see this. I'm sorry for the smallness of the font. There are 27 teams in this region.
Which is pretty nice, because I've seen regions with only 18, 19, so you're kind of in the playoffs, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So Badin's got an enormous lead there, and as you can see there, Bellbrook is number 2. The yellow indicates a win that has already taken place.
Okay.
So Bellbrook beat Madison in Week 7 last night, and you can see that's worth 0 second-level points.
And it gave Badin 4 additional points to widen their lead over Bellbrook.
4.5 second-level points for Badin. That's exactly right. They get points for Bellbrook's victory. They actually get more points than Bellbrook themselves got for it.
Badin says, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And so as they're seeing Northwest going back and forth with Edgewood, to see Roger Bacon with a 21-0 lead already, and I'm sure Badin would actually like to see Ross beat Talawanda tonight for the same reason, 6 more.
And we will pay attention for you folks when they do announce the homecoming queen. Joel, maybe we can, and the king, of course.
We'll see if you catch it or whatever. I'm sure if we're talking or whatever, I may miss it.
It's all about the football. It's all about the football.
I know my limitations, right?
Okay.
All right. So Monroe is third there. They're playing Franklin tonight. 22 second level points for Monroe if they can go ahead and get that win. They would definitely overtake Bellbrook if they can get that win tonight. Monroe
they play Bellbrook in a couple weeks, right?
Week 9. They play
that's going to be for the second seed.
It could be
for
the second seed.
I think Badin might pretty much have it wrapped up.
Well, if they can beat Alter, they're not going to get a ton of points with CJ and Fenwick, but the McNicholas game, Badin is going to control their own destiny for the number 1 seed. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
I had said earlier in the year, based on how Badin's non-conference schedule done, Badin could potentially wrap up the number 1 seed after week 9. That is still possible, but with every win McNicholas gets from the other GCL co-ed teams, that prolongs those points for Badin until week 10 that much longer. It's possible also they may be 9-0 and still not have locked in the 1 seed.
The king is Mike Newhan.
Oh, Mikey Meehan, of course.
Meehan, thank you.
Gotta love Mikey Meehan.
There you go. How do you know him, Joel? What's the story?
He's from St. Joseph's.
Okay,
and
very good.
I think he might have Down syndrome or one of those. I know when he became a kindergartner at St. Joseph's, Bill Hicks he's been the principal there for a long time. He rearranged a lot of things to allow Mikey to attend school there, which would not have been something they normally would have been able to do there. They needed some special services and whatever else. But
here's the queen.
Julia Ginsel.
Julia Ginsel.
Okay. I don't know anything about Julia, but she is the homecoming queen there.
She's very tall.
She is very tall. And if she's wearing heels, that makes her even taller. Which
Congratulations. All right, back to football.
Back to football.
Here we go.
We got that out of the way.
St. Mary's
Looks like
Memorial.
Mikey's going up to congratulate her. I love it.
That's great.
That's awesome,
St. Mary's Memorial is number 5.
They're number 5.
They are moving up.
Well, they're playing Kenton tonight. Kenton's not going to give them anything.
No, but they have Elida coming up. That's going to help.
We know what that stadium looks like. We've been up there.
It's beautiful.
It is beautiful, absolutely. St. Mary's, and they got Bath, but Salina in week 10 is not going to give them a lot. So St. Mary's Memorial is going to have to make their move in week 8 and 9, and then they're going to have to hold on for dear life as the teams around them all have more significant games to play.
Oh, certainly.
Down the stretch.
Yeah.
I would not put a lot of money. I wouldn't bet on high school football anyway, but if I were a betting man, I would not put a lot of money on St. Mary's.
Yeah, look at Tippecanoe there. They have Troy and Piqua.
Yes.
And there's 48 second-level points just waiting.
Just there, yes.
Yeah.
So Tippecanoe Red Devils, we're going to keep an eye on them these next couple weeks. Tippecanoe is a team that could hurdle Ross tonight, even if Ross wins.
Wow.
Because Troy is worth 18 points. Talawanda is only worth 5.5. They have only won 1 game so far this year. Wapakoneta plays Elida tonight, and Lima Shawnee is playing Van Wert. Van Wert is one of the top teams in that region, or in the Western Buckeye League. They are in Division 4. They are not in Badin's region and Alter's region.
And if anyone is listening to our broadcast as an Alter fan, you can see they're down there at 18 now. Obviously, things aren't going well for them tonight. They're down 21-0 to Badin, but there's 32 potential points for Badin, but
for Alter, if they can beat
Alter,
Badin.
yeah.
Yep.
But they have Fenwick and Carroll, who's not going to get him any points. But then who's the last game of the season?
CJ is the last game of the season.
Okay.
Now, CJ is worth 11.5 now.
Right.
But CJ is beating the heck out of Carroll 35-0. So that 11.5 is now going to go up to 17 next week.
Okay.
And CJ also still has to play. Well, it looks like they'll have Badin and McNicholas, so that won't be easy. We're going to learn a lot about CJ in the next couple weeks there.
Yeah,
but
that's tough.
For Alter, anybody who's worried about, oh my gosh, is Alter going to miss the playoffs if they don't win this game against Badin? I heard that from a couple of people coming into the stadium tonight. I don't buy it.
Okay.
I'm just going to tell you, now I could be wrong, but I don't buy it.
Okay.
Fenwick is worth 10 points. And Carroll, that's not going to give him a lot, but CJ is going to give him some. And Alter only needs to finish in the top 16. They only need to jump 2 spots. If Alter wins their last 3 after tonight, they're going to jump Fenwick right ahead of them.
Okay.
Shamada Julian is 13th right now. Alter would have a head-to-head win over them. You look at Elida and who Elida has left. They're at 14. They got Wapak, St. Mary's Memorial, Van Wert, and Lima Shawnee.
Yeah.
None of those Elida is going to
All you got to do is get in the top 16. We might have a Badin Alter game.
It could be a 16-1. I mean,
Yeah,
that could happen.
It could happen
It
again.
absolutely could happen.
Wow. what a 16 to start out with.
Oh, my gosh.
Come on.
Exactly. And if you look at the Northwest Knights, Edgewood's
Yeah.
going to give them all they can handle tonight. Mount Healthy next week. If Northwest wins those games, then they'll stay ahead of Alter. But if they don't,
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of teams there that Alter could potentially jump. Look at Dayton Dunbar at number 11.
Right.
They've beaten Beaver Creek, who has not won a game yet.
Right.
They've beaten Ponitz Tech, who has won a couple of games. Ponitz is down at 24 on this chart.
They're not too good.
Dunbar beat Meadowdown, which is their most impressive one. They got 16.5 points out of their 26 just last night.
I think they could be jumped easily.
Trotwood Madison, they're not worth a whole lot. Thurgood Marshall's not won a game yet, and Belmont's only won one game. So Dunbar's going to sit there and basically spin their wheels in neutral as Alter could possibly jump down.
Dunbar might hope for a COVID situation. They can pick up a game and get more points. Sad but true.
I mean, Carroll is only worth 5.5 points to Alter. Dunbar's last 3 opponents are worth 6, 0, and 5.
Oh.
You can overtake
Dunbar.
Dunbar.
Spinning their wheels is a good word for
You
it.
can overtake Dunbar. Alter fans, if you lose tonight, don't feel like the playoffs are completely out. A 5-5 finish is extremely possible as long as you play hard and play competitively. And 5-5 should be enough to get you into the playoffs. It won't be a home game, but you just got to get in. Once you get in, anything can happen, as we always know.
Yes, we do.
Alter, I think it was...
Especially with 16 teams this year.
I think it was 2 years ago. Alter actually got in by beating CJ on the last game of the season, and CJ was the number 1 seed. Alter beat them, then got to go and play them a second straight week in the 1-8 game in the playoffs and beat them again.
I remember that.
So don't think for 1 second.
Who was the running back for CJ on that team? He was a... Oh, God, I can't
that was, you're talking about Javon Ringer, but that was much farther back.
that's right.
That's
but at least you remembered Ringer.
That's it.
He played for Michigan State.
And speaking
of
CJ, they are now up 42-0 for those that are keeping track of that game. Monroe Hornets are playing Franklin right now. I'm just going to see if I can see a score real quickly in that game. Looks like Monroe was up 6-0, now 14-0 in that game. And Franklin has just missed a field goal attempt, a 40-yard field goal by their kicker, who's one of the best players on their team. So Monroe in reasonable shape early in that as they try to pass Bellbrook for the number 2 spot. And we'll see what happens with Ross. I mean, we'll see. It's hard to tell. Talawanda's not the game they need necessarily one way or the other.
Boy, that Monroe-Bellbrook game in Week 9,
large,
it's going to be huge.
And then if you look at Monroe in Week 10, they then play the Eaton Eagles.
Oh, my goodness.
Who are undefeated in Division 4. Here's Region 4, Division 4, Region 16. And there you see Eaton at number 1. And that's the other team that Bellbrook has lost to this year. So that Eaton also got 4.5 points by Bellbrook's win over Madison.
Let's hope that since the Bellbrook game Badin scheduled last year that was wiped out by COVID, let's hope that they renew that somehow and get to play another game.
I've talked to Jeff Melser about this.
Yeah.
Bellbrook is a phenomenal non-conference opponent for Badin.
Oh, yes.
And Badin would love to continue playing Bellbrook, and Melser tells me that Bellbrook has zero interest in continuing to play that. I don't know who Bellbrook would rather pick up, though. It's a team. It was a 17-7 game this year. Bellbrook is absolutely good enough to play with them.
Sure, and look at
all
those.
Look at all the points you get.
I mean, you're almost guaranteed to get in the playoffs this year if you beat Badin.
McNicholas Rockets, they're hanging around there at 3rd right now, and McNicholas is also going to hang a little bit neutral with Fenwick, Carroll, and CJ.
Yes.
It's a little better than neutral. They're a little better than Dunbar, but McNicholas's big move for their number 1 seed, if they can get it, would be beating Badin in Week 10, if they could do such a thing.
And that will be the battle for the GCL
The
champions.
GCL co-ed.
Yes.
That's exactly right. Absolutely. So taking a look here, Indian Hill has finally gotten their act together with 2 straight wins after starting 0-4. They've climbed up to 13th now. They're typically a powerhouse. It's interesting to see them as low as they are.
It is.
Clinton Massey's at 6. They're always a powerhouse. They're playing Western Brown tonight, whose only loss is to Monroe. Obviously, Monroe would love to see Western Brown win that. If Clinton Massey does, they're going to be in the top 4 most likely because they will hurdle Bethel Tate, who beat Claremont Northeastern last night, and they're trying to hurdle also the Waverly Tigers out there in the southeast corner of the region, who are playing a bunch of southeastern teams like Wheelersburg and Minford out there. Division 1, we'll look here. St. X and Moeller, look at the lead that those two have over the field.
I know they played each other. I was talking with Coach Tim on Moeller, and he says X is just enormous. He said he had more respect. Now, I'm not quoting him, but basically he said in kind of a nutshell that if Moeller played X 10 times, they might play one of the games close. Okay, that's how much respect Coach Tim gave to Xavier.
Well, the amazing thing also with St. X and Moeller, look at the second-level points compared to everybody else.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay? This is what happens when you play a 3-game conference schedule and you beat 7 potential non-conference teams. Last weekend, St. X beat Elder and then got wins by Moeller, Penn, Indiana, Olentangy, Liberty, Coleraine, and Lakota West. It's the second week in a row that they have maximized their board, beating their own opponents and then whipping everybody, getting wins from everybody else. And Moeller last weekend, not only did they beat LaSalle, which is a huge win, they got wins from Ironton, East Central, CJ, and Lakota East. So those top 2 rows are just filled in with yellow every week.
Yeah, kudos for Moeller being able to get that CJ game on short notice because CJ's going to get them some second-level points. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
That was nice.
Halftime score at Balaban Field. St. X is losing 13-10 at the half to winless Trinity, Kentucky.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Well, they got time at Balaban Field to get that all together, but right now the Shamrocks of Trinity, Louisville Trinity.
Remember, Jacksonville was up 14-0 against the Bengals last night.
That's right.
And they should have been up 21-0 if Urban Meyer knew how to do a 4th and half-yard call.
Or maybe 17-0 if Urban Meyer
would have kicked the field goal.
The field goal by 3 scores.
That was really stupid.
Well, it's only stupid because it didn't work, right? So
well, I still think it's stupid.
Wapakoneta now leading Elida 17-7. Coldwater trailing St. Henry 21-14. That's interesting. Lakota East, and if you look back here, is playing Coleraine tonight. That's a chance for Lakota East. They're not going to be able to catch Moeller tonight, but they can cut a third of that lead, which is something, you know. And then, again, they got the Lakota West game the last week of the season. Moeller's got a couple tough opponents coming up. If they lose one of those, the 2 seed is not out of the question yet, but Moeller and St. X definitely control their own destinies for the 1 and the 2.
I'll tell you, Moeller, they do schedule some teams, don't they?
Oh, boy.
My goodness.
Also Division I, the Northern Region. Middletown's down 16-0 at halftime to the Princeton Vikings. Toledo start. They beat Toledo Waite last night.
Yes.
And the Spartans have now won 2 games after losing their first 5, meaning that 16 teams in this region now have 2 wins. So Middletown, we were looking at, a 3-way tie, and nobody's won a game, and who's going to get that 16 spot? Now, just the win over Oak Hills in Week 9, if you can pull it off, is not going to be enough. Middletown is going to need to either beat Princeton tonight, they're down 16 at the half, or Lakota West next week, or Fairfield in Week 10. Middletown has not gotten the benefit of Toledo start and what they've done the last 2 weeks. That is for sure.
That's tough.
Fairmont is leading Miamisburg at halftime 21-0. Both of those teams are rooting for Alter to come back from behind.
We have called the last 2 Middletown games against Kings, and both times I thought Middletown's coaching staff was just top-notch, good gentlemen. And I would like to see the Middies be,
it'd be nice
rise
to get
up
a win
again.
or 2.
It would.
They've worked very hard.
Yeah, they have.
Here you go, Tammy Vote, if you're listening. Halftime score, or not even halftime yet. 5 minutes left to go in the second quarter. Franklin Heights is losing 51-0 to Dublin Scioto.
The Franklin Heights Eagles.
The Golden Falcons.
Golden Falcons.
The Golden
Thank you.
Falcons.
Golden Falcons. They. I forgot their name. That shows you how important they are to me.
Well, speaking of Franklin Heights and speaking of Kings, here's Division 2. You can see Franklin Heights down there at the bottom. Dublin Scioto is worth 24.5 points if Franklin Heights can score 53 unanswered points and come back. That's not going to happen.
No, good try, though.
Kings is up at number 2 right now, right there neck and neck with LaSalle. But if you look at LaSalle, they're playing Indianapolis Cathedral tonight, 6-0, and then St. X the next week. So LaSalle is going to control the board for the 1 seed if they take care of business, but it will not be easy. Kings, their last big move and shake will come in Week 9 when they get to play Turpin.
I like Kings. Kings is a great squad.
Fundamentally sound.
Oh, they are.
Piqua is playing Greenville tonight. Piqua is 5-0 undefeated and doing very well in that Miami Valley League. Taze Valley out east, they are 6-0 and they are playing Circleville tonight. They're up 28-7 in the second quarter out there in Taze Valley. Circleville only worth, I think, 8 second-level points there. That's not going to be much. Turpin's not going to move very far. They play Lebanon tonight, who's not worth anything right now. Anderson and Winton Woods.
It's a nice city, though, I'll say that.
Yes. It is. Anderson and Winton Woods play each other. One of those two teams is going to be ahead of Edgewood, and one is going to be behind Edgewood when their game ends, assuming Edgewood can hang on and beat Northwest tonight. So we'll see how that goes. Northwest is worth 16 points for the Edgewood Cougars. Joe Idle right now has Winton Woods ahead of Edgewood.
Okay.
I've got Edgewood ahead of Winton Woods. The difference there is a level 2 divisor. The official Harbin ratings have Edgewood's level 2 divisor at 9.0 rather than 8.7. Harrison is missing a game on their schedule due to COVID. So is Talawanda and so is Ross. So when each of those games take place, another tenth of a point is going to go off of that 9.0, reducing it down to 8.7. I've already done that ahead of time.
Yeah.
And the difference in that margin is enough to give Edgewood the fractional points ahead of Winton Woods on my chart.
COVID just screws everything up, doesn't it?
Compared to Joe Idle's chart. So
hey, one more thing. I really fell in love with New Miami last year. We did a lot of their games. I know they lost a lot of players this year.
They lost a lot.
How are they doing this year,
Well,
Joel?
let's pull them up here. New Miami, Division 7, Region 28.
They're 21st.
They're 21st, tied for 20th, actually, with Ridgemont. They have one win over Hilltop, who has not won a game.
Oh.
They lost in overtime to Clark Montessori last week. That would have been a very good win to get. They're going to probably need to win 2 of their last 4. They're playing Cincinnati Country Day, the former Indians, now known as the Nighthawks.
Well, I heard there's birds outside angry that they're using that name. Is that true?
Are they the Angry Birds?
God.
Oh, my goodness. So New Miami there, if you look at the remaining schedule, though, this would be the hardest game they have to play is tonight against CCD. They got Miami Valley Christian, St. Bernard Elmwood Place, who's not won a game yet, and Lockland, their last 3 games.
All right. Well,
those are winnable-ish.
Cincinnati Country Day. Maybe we'll get you a score here. It's hard to find everything on Twitter, isn't it, Joel?
Well, it really is. I mean, it's just hard to see who's posting from which game. See here, Trotwood Madison is leading Ponitz Tech 28-0, so don't write them out necessarily in Division 3 either. They won the state championship 2 years ago. Wow, Edgewood Cougars have turned it on against Northwest. They are now up 35-6.
Wow.
Over the Northwest Knights. That's huge.
That's quite a performance.
Edgewood's trying to get that home game.
Looks like we're getting ready to start the second half here, Joel.
And real quickly, one extra score as Alter puts the ball on the tee. Talawanda has scored again. They are leading Ross 13-0. That's a bit of a surprise.
That is a big surprise.
All right, so quarter number 3 is getting ready to start. We packed you with so much information at halftime that we can't even get you to commercial. Ball is on the tee.
Commercial free.
Commercial free halftime. And there's the kick, and Braden Moore is going to field it on a bounce. Actually, he's not going to field it at all. It's going to roll diagonally toward the corner and slips into the end zone rather than slipping out of bounds at the 2. And that's going to be a difference of 15 yards in field position. To benefit the Alter Knights, Badin is going to start with this first possession of half number 2 at their own 20-yard line. Halftime score, Withrow has come back and has taken the lead over Aiken 16-6. That is a nice score for both Badin and Alter because Aiken is actually a little bit behind.
Okay.
And the Ross Rams just scored, so now it's 13-7. Talawanda, the Brave, but just one of them.
They're playing one Indian.
One Indian, that's right, the Brave.
I don't know. I think that Indian, they should play Thurgood Marshall. That would be a mano on mano.
One man against one man. That's exactly right. 1st and 10, handoff to Walsh up the middle. Knifes his way a little bit toward the pile, but is only going to eke out about a yard or 2. And so it's going to be a 2nd down and 8 now for the Badin Rams. I just love it when somebody tweets halftime, Tigers 31, Rockets 0. Which Tigers and which Rockets, guys? Come on. It's being tweeted by Versailles, so I'm going to assume that means Versailles leading Anna. Because Anna is the Rockets, and they're in that
not
conference.
the McNicholas Rockets.
It's not the McNicholas Rockets. No, it is not. McNicholas is not playing the Tigers tonight. They are playing Fenwick tonight. Touch pass forward to Braden Moore. It's a little jet sweep forward, so it actually counts as a pass completion for Viderick. And Moore is going to break it for about 5 yards. Going to set up a 3rd down and 3 now. A pick, and Ross scores again. And just like that, the Ross Rams are up 14-13 over the Brave. I'll tell you, sometimes I think funny things. You know, I used to be a history teacher back in the day.
Yeah.
I think of Squanto, who ended up going to England, and he came back and found out his entire tribe had died of smallpox.
Oh.
That would be one single Brave, right?
That's true.
When your entire rest of your tribe goes.
All right, 3rd and 2 for the Badin Rams here.
Shotgun formation for Viderick. He's got an H-back off the left side of his line. He's going to throw it deep for Russo.
Got it. What?
Caught. Oh, excuse me, that's Braden Moore, not Russo. It's 11, not 1.
Beautiful
A
pass.
fly pattern. Viderick caught it, looked left, and then immediately shifted his feet right and threw the deep fly pattern. And it's completed across midfield. Gain of about 30 yards on the play to Braden Moore. And it's a 1st and 10 for Badin across midfield in Alter territory at the 40-yard line.
That's a backbreaker for Alter. They could have had a 3-and-out there, and Badin took it to him.
Huge momentum shifter and field position shifter. The handoff to Walsh.
There he goes again.
He breaks it through the middle and is untouched. 40 yards to pay dirt. Touchdown. Jack Walsh nipping at your toes.
Well, this time, just for variety's sake, they ran it between the left guard and the center, whereas in the first half it was between the right guard. So both offensive linemen on each side are doing their job equally well.
2 touchdown runs that were basically mirror image plays.
Yes. Perfectly symmetrical.
Perfectly symmetrical, and Jack Walsh was not touched on either one of them.
No, he just flew through it like little Dave Meggett would run.
Jackson Neeson. Kick is up, and the kick is good. And so, with 10-10 left to go in quarter number 3, the Badin Rams 28, the Alter Knights nothing. You're listening to the Butler County High School Sports Report Radio Network.
Hey, sports fan! Did you know the OHSAA is among the national leaders in social media? Check out the OHSAA's social media platforms for news, tournament information, accomplishments, helpful links, and all the items available in the fan guide, including photos, DVDs, and publications. Check out OHSAA Sports on Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, and Instagram. And who knows, you may be the next featured face.
Jack Walsh's 40-yard touchdown run has Badin up 28-0 over the Alter Knights.
And if you had Jack Walsh in your high school fantasy football team, you're doing well. He's got over 100 yards just on his 2 touchdown runs.
And if you had him in my fantasy league where you get extra points, you get 5 extra points for a 100-yard bonus. You get 4 extra points for a 40-yard touchdown run and 5 extra points for the 50-plus yard touchdown run. Jack Walsh right now.
A lot of second-level points.
Those are second-level points in the Big Chicken League. My goodness. 10-10 left to go here in the third quarter. And Badin, dare I say, can actually have a running clock in sight if they can stop Alter and get one more score.
I'm in an alternate universe if that happens.
Very alternate. Neeson's kick goes
Short.
from left to right. Kicks it to the 20-yard line. Is going to be returned by Michael Russ. He's got a nice sizable return here as he runs it out to the 39-yard line.
You are exactly right. I just cannot figure out the Badin kickoffs. He can boom them in the end zone. He squibs them 5 yards down the field. He hits one diagonally 30 yards down the field. It absolutely makes no sense at all.
I can't really remember a team that chooses to alternate kickoff strategies as frequently as the Badin Rams do.
Oh.
It's got to be hard to scout as a special teams unit for the other team.
Maybe there's something to that.
1st and 10, Alter at their own 39-yard line. Run up the middle. That is Chase Stone. He's going to get about 6 yards.
That was a nice play. Brady him off on a tackle for Badin. Good first down gain. Looks like we're going to be about 2nd down and 5 for Alter.
All right, 2nd, and we're actually going to call it 4.
Okay.
at the 45-yard line. And Alter needs something to change momentum. It has been a frustrating night for the Alter Knights. 2nd and 4. Pistol formation again to Stone. They're sticking with the ground game now. And Coach Ed Domesites is now being rewarded with sticking with the ground game. Stone is going to cut it across midfield, get tackled just on the other side of the 50-yard line, and it's enough for a first down for the Alter Knights.
Now, to play devil's advocate here,
Okay.
do you think Badin says, well, just keep running the ball. It will give you 6-7 yards, because the clock's going to be down to 4 minutes to go in the third quarter by the time you finally score.
You almost wonder with the running clock strategy, though, if just playing this thing as straight up as you've been and then just trying to get the ball back one more time and punch it in actually is better in terms of clock.
Yeah.
Kind of an odd dynamic of this running clock
Oh,
I hate so much.
almost tackled in the
Stone
backfield.
Breaks one tackle. Wrapped up by Braden Moore. He's not going to break that tackle. Swung around big European stranger rodeo style on his own side of the 50-yard line, right there at the sideline.
Braden Moore, we've called his name a lot with the hop, hop, hop touchdown earlier.
Moore has been awesome.
He has.
Tonight. A few of the Badin Rams have really been awesome tonight. Jack Walsh has been awesome.
The Badin offensive line, the Badin defensive line.
I mean, there are so many Rams. You can't even call them all out. As an Alter player is down, being tended to, and that is C.J. Hicks, actually.
That's
kind of meanders his way off the field. He's kind of a little gimpy with his legs.
He is gimpy, but I guarantee you we'll see him later. He's one of their best players, and they need him.
2nd down. 15 for the Alter Knights. Breaking the huddle now after the injury. And Badin's charcoal-colored defense now comes out. No timeout was officially taken there. It was just simply an injury. So it's 2nd down and 15 now. Alter.
You want to call the Badin uniforms the Kingsfords?
The Kingsfords.
Yes, for the charcoal.
I like it.
You like it?
I like that.
All right, here we go. 2nd 15.
Pistol formation. Here's the snap. 3-step drop, turn around, quick short pass to Michael Russ.
Hit
Right
hard.
flat. Caught it, and immediately down in place. The ball was thrown 4 yards in the air. It's a 4-yard completion, and that's all they're going to get out of that. It's 3rd and
Braden
11.
Moore with a hard tackle. We've been calling his name a lot.
3rd down and 11. Now, actually 12 because they didn't give him a generous spot there. Alter's got it at Badin's 49-yard line. This got to be 4-down territory, Dan.
Oh, absolutely. And this is where Badin, they have shined all year in this situation. Let's see if it continues.
3rd down and 12 for the Alter Knights. Shotgun formation with a running back just slightly diagonally to the right of Connor. It's 3/4 of a shotgun, right? It's not exactly a pistol. It's not exactly a shotgun. They try to run the wheel route out of the backfield for Chase Stone. And the pass falls short of Stone. He never even got his head turned around to see it was coming. And it's going to be a 4th down and 12. And Alter is bringing their punting unit on.
Wow, so they're going to try and set up Badin for the running clock, as negative as that sounds.
A.J. Palmer, well, they're going to try to force Badin to have to work a very long field in order to accomplish their running clock.
That
Badin
sounds
can
better.
kind of run the clock as they try to work it toward a running clock. Palmer's kick, his best of the night. It's going to land around the 19-yard line in the hands of Braden Moore. Going to take it to the right, looking for the sideline. Got the sideline, tucks it up, past the 30-yard line, just past or around the 35 is where he's going to run out of room. We'll see where he's spotted, and it looks like it's going to be right dead smack on a yard line again, Dan, at the 35-yard line.
So after all of that, they netted about 13 yards with the punt when you include the return. So going for it there might not have been a bad idea, Joel.
St. Xavier has just blocked a punt.
Okay.
So they're in the 3rd quarter now. They're still trailing 13-10, but they're on the Trinity 17-yard line. That would be one of the biggest upsets of the season if a winless Louisville team can come up to Balaban Field and knock off St. Xavier.
That would be huge. 1st
and 10, Badin Rams. Alter almost jumps but stays in place. Handoff to Walsh. He is flattened. C.J. Hicks may have another, sir.
He was gimpy walking off the field, but he got his energy back.
Must have gone to the sideline and had Red Bull. It gives you wings. 2nd down and 8 for the Badin Rams. Walsh will still muster 2 yards out of that play. And a throbbing headache.
Oh, my. Walsh is going, where's that truck?
Wow.
That was a truck stick.
That was a truck stick. Absolutely. 2nd down and 8 for Badin Rams. Walsh down the sideline getting a little breather, and deservedly so. The handoff goes to Russo up the middle.
Oh.
And he is flattened.
Alter's defense is playing angry right now.
That's John Duplain, number
They
16.
heard me discussing the running clock strategy, and they said, "Shut up, Dan Vogt."
It's not a running clock strategy. It's a field position strategy. Give us the ball back. Middletown now losing to Princeton 32-0 at halftime. The season is starting to get late early for Don Simpson's Middies, who continue to fight. They had Cole Rain in a good game last week. 3rd down and 8.
They're not middies. They're more like 1/10ths right now.
3rd and 8 for Badin. Russo's still the running back on the field. Walsh is still on the sideline. Viderick's going to look to throw. He wants
time.
more. Moore changes his route. Viderick rolls out to the left, runs out of room, and is shoved out of bounds a little rudely there by Mike Lance. Little frustration shove, but the official rule that the shove began in bounds, so therefore it looked a little bit late, but no flag is going to be thrown on the play, and that's legit.
A shove with bad intentions. That's what it was.
Viderick was actually caught by a bunch of his own sideline guys there before he went stumbling into the Badin bench.
Yes.
4th down and 9, and this is going to be a 3 and out, and Viderick is going to definitely be punting this ball. We'll see how much he can get with a punt from the 35-yard line.
Low line drive. It should roll, and it does.
And it bounces to the inside the 30, where it is fielded. That seems to be the difference in Viderick's punts, is if the other team can actually field it, you don't get the benefit of a very long roll.
That's right.
Alter is going to have the ball. 5:47 left to go in the 3rd quarter. The Alter Knights are going to start this possession, it looks like, on their own. It looks like the 31-yard line is where the ball is placed on the left hash. Alter going from left to right across your radio dial. They are defending the north end zone here at Kumler Field. That's the end zone that says Edgewood in it rather than the end zone that says Cougars. 1st and 10, pistol formation.
Let's see if Alder can dent the scoreboard here.
Gavin Connor. They've kept the running clock away for now. Stone takes a toss sweep. He's going to gain about 3 yards if it stands, but it ain't going to stand, Dan.
No, it's holding.
A flag was thrown in the backfield. There's a nice act of sportsmanship there by James Darneter and Hunter Harrison, the 2 linemen going at it.
The problem with that penalty for Alter is the running back was past where the holding was. It was not necessary, and that's what
it really was.
That has to drive you crazy.
And
as
a lot of
coach.
times that is indeed the case.
Yeah.
St. X has now taken a 17-13 lead over Trinity Louisville.
Okay.
One of the people I ran into today here who shall remain nameless pointed at Alter, look at their offensive line, and said they're not as big as they used to be in previous years.
Oh, that's interesting.
If you look at Badin's defensive line and you compare their sizes to Alter's offensive line, Badin looks a little beefier.
They do.
Not
You're
gonna
right.
lie.
It's usually the other way around.
In past years, the last 20 years, it has been the other way around. Connor, long throw. Intercepted! Intended for Michael Russ.
Wow.
C.J. Hicks was breaking an out route. The ball landed right in between the 2 receivers at depth, and it was caught by Bryson Fox, the junior safety.
Fox was Johnny on the spot. He was the only one that really was following the flight of the ball there, it looked like.
Yeah, both receivers didn't quite know what to do with it.
Yeah.
Fox is like,
I'll take it.
Tom Brenneman's here. I'll work for Fox. Yeah. 1st down and 10 for the Badin Rams at the Alter 37-yard line.
You know, the Fox, they ripped off a
Sleigh Ride, right?
They ripped off Sleigh Ride.
It sounds
giddy
a lot
up,
like
giddy
Sleigh
up, giddy up. Let's go. Let's go to the show. Yeah, I don't know if there's a copyright on that, but they should get some money.
Jack Walsh takes the handoff toward the right tackle. He's going to go ahead and punch his way through for about 2 yards or so. Brendan Tully, the offensive lineman, comes up holding his helmet. His helmet got dislodged from his head on that play. That's how hard the hitting is on the inside of the lines.
Joe, we're almost 3 quarters into this game. Your overall impression, Alter down this year, or is Badin really good?
Yes.
Yes to both.
Both things can be true
Yes.
at the same time.
Okay.
We're going to find out more about Alter, I think, in the next 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Viderick is going to take a quarterback power.
He's
Great
got some
blocking.
room. Oh.
He ran to the short sideline.
He's lucky he didn't get a penalty on himself there.
Believe it or not, their fans, that could have been a late hit out of bounds on the quarterback.
Right. He stiff-armed the defensive player, knocked him to the ground, and kind of hovered over him like, I got you.
Yeah. Christian Karenga was trying to wrangle him, and Viderick ran out of room because they ran that quarterback power to the short sideline. He got out of bounds and was still in the mid-stiff arm as they went out of bounds together, and he finished the stiff arm in out-of-bounds territory. You can see the replay on the Chatterbox screen there.
Okay.
In the corner of the end zone, which is pretty cool. A flag, pre-snap penalty here, and I think this is going to go against the Rams, and it is.
Make-up penalty.
Only a 5-yard variety there. Now, it looks like in the GCL co-ed that Badin and McNicholas are 1 and 2 in either order, and they're going to play each other week 10. We don't have to be college football people and just vote on it now. We can actually let them play and decide on the field.
Yeah, last year was a weird year.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. But I think we can safely predict or say at this point in time that Alter and CJ are 3rd and 4th in the conference, and they also play in Week 10, and that might be a winner-take-all for a playoff spot when they get down to it, depending on the results of 1,500 other games between now and then. First down and 15. Viderick's got pressure on him now. He's going to try to bring it up the pocket and scramble, and a very late flag is thrown into the pile after Viderick was already tackled, and he dove forward. He did not slide there.
You think that's a personal foul on Alter?
I don't know what that is. Maybe targeting. Looked like one of the black
Well,
hats.
Viderick was kind of
personal foul, blow to the head on Alter.
It was targeting. You are correct.
There it is.
It was. I was feeling a little nervous about Viderick there because he was vulnerable. He was going down and he literally got hit and bent back while after his knee was on the ground.
Kind of tricky there.
Yeah, those are the kind of plays that can change the whole season if he gets hurt.
Well, and you certainly don't. Badin does not want to see any more injuries after what happened last week. Spencer Fear, we hope he is well and on the mend. He had a successful surgery on Monday.
Lower leg break, right?
It was a compound fracture of the tibia and fibula. It was the Alex Smith injury, essentially.
Oh, no.
You know, you never like to see that. So Spencer's season obviously is done.
Yeah, I heard on the pregame that
Sophomore.
they just want him to get ready for baseball season.
Well, he'll be lucky if he's ready for baseball season. Maybe next year's football season or the next year's baseball season, because that's an injury it takes a little time to come back from.
Sure it does.
And handoff to Walsh up the middle. He's going to have a few yards there. It's going to be 2nd down and medium. Father Ed Pratt is Badin's chaplain. He's up in the Kettering area, actually. So he probably knows a lot of these Alter kids as well as a lot of the Badin kids. And Father Ed Pratt actually went over to the hospital and gave anointing of the sick to Spencer Fear.
That's nice.
On the spot there before his surgery that day. So
2nd and 9 for Badin at the 14-yard line. If they can knock it in here, we will see the running clock.
Spencer on the sideline, actually, right there on crutches. You can actually see him, Dan.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, radio listeners, you cannot, but we can.
Number 14.
He's number 14.
That's
there
that number again.
There he is. 2nd and 9. Walsh takes the handoff. Again up the middle. He's wrapped up by Michael Russ. And Russ had a hard time getting him to the ground, but eventually did. Actually, that's not Russ. That's Linnell Collier. And Sammy Miller also came in 6 and 8 on the tackle.
Is 30 the number for running clock, or is it 35?
It is 30 in Ohio. It is 35 in Florida.
Okay, so a field goal would be 31.
A field goal would be a 31-point lead.
Okay.
So that would do it if they decide to go ahead and try a kick with Jackson Neeson. It is 3rd and 9 at the 15-yard line, so this would be field goal range potentially for Badin. They could at least try it, see what happens. It's a touchback if they miss it. Viderick's got man coverage, looking for Rawlings, and he never gave him a chance. It was the goal line fade pattern.
The ball floated out of bounds, even if he would have come
Would
down
have
with
not
it.
been catchable.
Yeah.
Christian Karenga on coverage for the
Here
Alter
comes
Knights.
the field goal unit, Joel.
Neither one of them could have caught that ball in bounds. Neeson is the kicker, the soccer player, number 80 for the charcoal-colored Badin Rams. And this would make it a 31-point lead and potentially a running clock. 2.5 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Jackson Neeson. Kick is up. Is it going to have the distance? It will, and it's wide to the left.
Oh.
Touchback, and the Alter Knights are going to take over at the 20-yard line after the missed field goal. Ross Rams have scored again. Ryan Imes on a completed catch from Aiden Brown. Looks like a halfback pass play probably. And it's 21-13. Ross back out ahead by 8 over Talawanda.
Sounds like a good game.
Looks like the one-man defense is now not working quite as well. They might want to go back to 11. Lakota East leads Coleraine 7-0 in the third quarter. That's an interesting little score. First down and 10 now for the Alter Knights at the 20-yard line. Shotgun formation for Connor. Fakes the handoff, is going to keep it himself. He confused Badin's defense, and he's loose in the secondary. He's going to get about 15 yards. Badin bit really, really hard on Chase Stone there. Stone was going from left to right. The line went over there with him, and that would be Gavin Connor, the quarterback, taking it the other way for about a 16-yard gain.
I'm glad Caden Starks for Badin did not get fooled, because if he would have made that tackle, he'd be still running.
Yeah. Gavin Connor had a lot of room there. There were only 3 defenders on that entire left side of the field. 8 of the Badin Rams crashed right on that play. Beautiful fake by Connor.
It was a great fake. I didn't follow it either.
Wishbone formation now. And a flinch. And it looks like Gavin Connor's hard count drew one of the Badin interior linemen off sides. Nick Yordy is out there pleading with his guys to keep up their effort, but it's going to be a 5-yard penalty on the Badin Rams. And that'll make it 1st and 5 now for Alter. Nice little hard count there.
You don't see that much in high school.
No, you don't. Alter's tried it a couple times tonight. Badin has not jumped off yet until now. But now Badin has. 28-0 Badin Rams here in the third quarter. Waning moments of the third quarter here at Kumler Field. Wishbone formation.
Nice
Give
D.
is... I'm trying to see who even took it. It might have been Stone. That's the beautiful thing about the old Wishbone. It is Stone. The Wishbone offense is it becomes like the shell game sometime. You're trying to follow the ball, and you don't know who has it.
Yeah, a gaggle of Rams on the tackle. What is a multitude of Rams?
Herd.
A herd? Okay.
Herd.
A herd of Rams.
That's right. Badin student section is known as the Herd.
There you go.
I don't think Alter student section is known as the Squires, though.
The Hollywood Knights.
Just remember, everybody, Huey Lewis in the news said it's hip to be Squire.
Oh, my
2nd and
goodness.
4 for the Alter Knights.
Huey's groaning.
Wow. And fake handoff to the fullback. A pitch to C.J. Hicks. He's going to break a couple of tackles.
He's running.
Logan New tracks him down all the way from the inside of the defensive line, way out 10 yards upfield and all the way at the sideline to finish the tackle off. But not before C.J. Hicks has a first down.
CJ is a senior, and I'll tell you, I see him playing Division I football next year somewhere.
Heart of a champion.
Absolutely.
And we have a uniform infraction. Braden Moore comes off the field. Jack Walsh tried to run on, but I don't think he normally plays a lot of defense. Finally, Eric Rawlings runs on in Moore's place. Referee gives the signal that we can now get ready. Alter is across midfield. We're below 30 seconds now in the third quarter. Wishbone formation, 1st and 10 for Alter at the Badin. 37-yard line across midfield. Stone takes the handoff up the middle. Guts through the Badin defense. Picks up 9 solid yards on a straight dive play.
This is Alter's best drive of the entire game, Joel.
Absolutely. And this looks more like vintage Alter. Not the shotgun stuff, but the wishbone. Lots of handoffs, double handoffs,
yeah, just power.
Options. And we have reached the end of quarter number 3. The only bad news for Alter if they want to continue running Wishbone, as they only have 12 more minutes. And that's going to become a problem real quick. End of the third quarter here at Kumler Field. The Badin Rams have a 28-0 lead on their nemesis, the Alter Knights.
Hey, sports fan! Did you know the OHSAA is among the national leaders in social media? Check out the OHSAA's social media platforms for news, tournament information, accomplishments, helpful links, and all the items available in the fan guide, including photos, DVDs, and publications. Check out OHSAA Sports on Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, and Instagram. And who knows, you may be the next featured face.
We are back here at Kumler Field getting ready to start quarter number 4. Badin has a nice 28-0 lead over the Alter Knights. Alter on their best drive of the game so far. 2nd down and 1. Handoff to the fullback. We've been waiting to see the big guy get the ball all night. Antonio Murphy Jr. rumbles forward on a fullback dive, picks up about 9 hard-fought yards.
If he's a junior, I like to see senior. Senior might be a 400-pounder.
I mean, my goodness. And we don't have a size and weight on the Alter roster, but my gosh. Or do you on yours?
Let me see.
You have his number 28. You have size and weight on yours. You do.
There you go.
5'10".
10, 266.
How's that for a fullback? 266 coming at you.
5'10", bowling ball.
It's a wonderful lead blocker in your wishbone formation. 1st and 10. Again, the handoff to the fullback. Why not try it again? Plunges forward for about 3 or 4 yards.
1985 Chicago Bears fans. I'm having Refrigerator Perry flashbacks. He is the refrigerator.
All I'm thinking is, Dave Thomas, where's the beef?
It's right there, Joe.
It's right there behind the quarterback.
That's a Wendy's triple right there.
I kind of wonder what this game would look like if Alter just stayed in this wishbone most of the game.
Well, it would do a couple things. Number one, it would keep Badin's offense off the field.
Shorten the game.
Number two, it would shorten the game.
2nd down and 7. Unfortunately, Alter doesn't need the game shortened now. They're down by 4 scores. Quarterback keeps it and is tackled in the backfield by Logan New.
Harrison also
there. That was a fake fullback dive. That was a classic triple option. And once it was decided not to hand the ball off to Murphy, the fullback, the quarterback, Gavin Connor, got wrapped up before he could ever even think of pitching it.
You know, it's interesting, this series. Alter is almost like, I don't think we're going to win, but darn it, we're not going to get shut out. So we're going to do what we think we do best, even the hell with the score. We're gonna score here.
I like that, Dan. I think that's probably right.
Yeah.
Seems to be. Plus, you can also, again, avoid the running clock. Nobody wants that.
No.
Well, Badin, I guess, wants it, but 3rd down and 10. Handoff up the middle again. The fake was to Murphy. The handoff actually went to the tailback, Stone. And Stone gets stopped for a gain of only 2. It's going to be 4th down and 8. Certainly 4-down territory for Alter. They're just inside the 30-yard line now.
Let's see if they go into a passing formation. I mean, you would think they would.
Alter has been intercepted twice tonight.
I know.
They've not thrown the ball that much. They really haven't, even out of the shotgun formation.
Now they got double wideouts on both sides.
This is more of a pistol type of formation.
Sure.
With Stone kind of a little offset diagonally behind the quarterback. 3-step drop, 5-step drop, scramble around by Connor. Going to throw it. He's got a man. It is complete. And tackled by Braden Moore.
He's got the 1st down.
Catch was made by Cooper Freshwater. And Freshwater
signaled the 1st down. That's great, but you got to look at the scoreboard there, Cooper.
Yeah, Freshwater takes the plunge across the 1st down marker.
Oh, my.
And a 1st and 10 for the Knights at the 20-yard line, just inside the 20-yard line, maybe the 19.5 if you like. Alter, again, this is their best drive of the game. The only problem for them is it is taking forever to get it done.
It's going on over a half a quarter.
And they're down by 4 scores.
In 7 years.
In 7 years.
Thank you, Abraham
1st and
Lincoln.
10, yes. Old 1863 Gettysburg Address reference. Handoff to Stone up the middle, and Stone is stuffed by, looks like, Caden Starks, as well as Jackson Martin there on the Badin defense, and a 2-yard gain only for Alter. And again, 30 more seconds are going to run off the clock as Alter huddles up and tries to get their next play in.
Yeah, this is the way you play Madden, Joel, right here.
It's the way I play Madden, but I don't like being down 28-0. That's for sure. You know, this would be a lot better in a nothing game in the first half if Alter could have been able to pull it off. But Badin's defense was not going to let it. 2nd and 8. Connor pitches it to Hicks. He's breaking to the right. Tries to run toward the sideline, gets tackled after about a 5-yard gain. It's going to set up a 3rd and short for Alter. Down under 8 minutes left to go now in the 4th quarter. Proud Alter team trying to dent the scoreboard. And denting the scoreboard just itself is a nice accomplishment against this Badin defense.
It really is. I mean, not to be redundant, but I said earlier 14 points might be all Badin needs to win this game.
Well, they got double that.
Yeah.
3rd down and 4 now for the Knights. They've been in the wishbone almost exclusively this entire drive. Rolling out left, a pitch to Stone. Cuts it back right, runs right into Logan New, and a loss of 10 yards in the backfield.
He was trying to do his best Barry Sanders impersonation, but only Barry can make yards out of that play.
Yordy talked about assignment football last week. That was not New's assignment. New's assignment was the quarterback.
Right.
And he made sure the quarterback pitched it, and he was basically done on the play. And Stone was running out to the left sideline. He ran out of room. He tried to cut it all the way back across the formation and basically accidentally ran into Logan New, who was as surprised as anybody to see the ball come right back at him.
And he makes the tackle. 4th and 13 here. We'll see what happens.
Shotgun formation. 2 receivers on each side of the formation with Stone in the backfield as the running back for pass protection. 4 receivers in the route. Toward the end zone. Triple coverage. Up and incomplete. It was intended for Michael Russ. Badin had 2 defenders in the area and a 3rd one on the way. And that was kind of just a hope and a prayer and the end of the drive for Alter. Impressive drive, 0 points.
What can you say about the Badin defense that hasn't been said tonight by myself and Joel? They're phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
They've scored. That's what you cannot say about the Badin defense. They've not scored any points. Offense got all 4 touchdowns.
That's true.
That's about the only thing you can say.
Well, they got tackled at what, the 5-yard line?
They've given the offense a couple of really short fields, though.
Yes, they have.
Really short fields. Landon Viderick is very, very thankful for his
There
defense.
might be an interception run back for in the next 6 minutes.
Pick 6 in garbage time?
Yeah, pick 6 in garbage time.
That's one of those things for the over-under or the spread, significant to some.
Is Walsh in there? I can't see.
Looks like 2 running backs, Russo and Walsh.
Okay.
Russo goes in motion. The handoff goes to Walsh.
There he goes.
Runs it right.
There he goes
again.
again.
He's got room. He's got a blocker downfield. He's across midfield. A gain of over 25, close to 30 yards on that carry. And it was a simple handoff to Jack Walsh.
I'll tell you, I was just anxious to see if he was in there after he got stuck on that last series.
Yeah.
And he stayed out a few plays, but boy, he looks just like he's fine.
That was awesome. I mean, that was the first time Badin has had 2 running backs in the backfield pre-snap. They sent Russo in motion from right to left, trying to get Alter's defense to chase him over there and open up the right side of the offensive line for Walsh. It worked. 30 yards later,
nice.
1st and 10 Badin.
Nice by Coach Yordy, changing things up 28-0, throwing different things at him.
Again, 2 running backs on the field now, next to Viderick. So a shotgun, double running back formation, and they are bleeding this play clock all the way down. The handoff goes to Russo from right to left. Got more blocks. Slips through a tackle.
11
He's got
yards.
about 11 yards and a 1st down for the Rams, who are looking to get this running clock going. 5.5 minutes left to go here in the 4th quarter on homecoming. And the Badin Rams, very impressive.
They are very impressive.
Clock runs. And Landon Viderick knows exactly how much time is on the play clock. They are absolutely in 4-minute offense clock management mode. They have not broken the huddle yet. They're below 20 seconds now on the play clock. They're not going to break it until about 15. There they go at 14. They break the huddle.
That's a beautifully coached team.
Again, shotgun formation with double running backs. They're going a little bigger. Russo in motion from right to left. Give it to Walsh. He's up the middle.
Running hard. Look at that.
Tackle. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my goodness.
That play was dead in the water 3 yards upfield, and then everybody kind of stopped moving, and then Walsh just kind of broke from the pile.
Keeping those knees pumping, Joel.
Oh, my goodness. I thought that was done for sure. First and 10, Badin.
He's got to be near 200 yards tonight.
Oh, my gosh. Jack Walsh running hard. He's so hard to see.
Oh.
He's a tiny little thing. Slippery. Alter's got to be like, you got to be kidding me. First down and 10. Badin Rams, they now have the ball at the 16-yard line inside the red zone.
And they're not trying to run up the score, throwing fake passes. They're just plowing it.
They're working the clock and trying to get this running clock going, and they're bleeding the play clock all the way down to 5 seconds before they snap the ball.
Yep.
Great clock management. You don't see that a lot in high school football. Carter Russo gets the handoff here now as Walsh goes in motion pre-snap. The pre-snap motion is interesting because it almost shows Alter who's getting the handoff. It's
That's
the
true.
other guy, unless Yordi is setting them up for something else to be used either later on this game or in a 1-16 playoff game.
Oh, yes. Interesting. Or maybe he doesn't want to show it so it's not on tape for other teams to see.
That's true. Second down and 8 for the Rams.
We're down to under 4 minutes to go here, folks. Badin with a 28-0 comfortable lead. It's been all Rams tonight,
Badin
offensively
will have
and
CJ
defensively.
and Fenwick the next 2 weeks. Two very winnable games.
Yes.
Handoff to Walsh up the middle. He's going to get about 4 more yards. They're down to about the 11, maybe the 10.5, and it's going to be a third down for the Badin Rams. Once again, in field goal range if they want to try. Jackson Neeson has the leg for it. The previous attempt was long enough, just went wide left. Substitution package coming in as Brady Imhoff now checks into the game for Carter Russo. And they're down again to 15 seconds on the play clock. They're not breaking the huddle yet. There's a late substitution. They're going to let the clock run all the way down and then just take a timeout at 1 second.
Yes, they are.
That's what's going to happen here.
Timeout.
And there is the timeout. So, 28-0 Rams. We'll be right back as Badin tries to salt this one away here at Kumler.
Hey, sports fan! Did you know the OHSAA is among the national leaders in social media? Check out the OHSAA's social media platforms for news, tournament information, accomplishments, helpful links, and all the items available in the fan guide, including photos, DVDs, and publications. Check out OHSAA Sports on Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, and Instagram. And who knows, you may be the next featured face.
Couple of scores of interest. Edgewood now leads 42-6 over the Northwest Knights. Edgewood break out the Cougars. Western Brown has turned the ball over on downs. Clinton Massey leads them 28-14. That's not good news for Monroe. The Trinity Louisville Shamrocks have scored twice. They lead St. X 26-17 after the first play of quarter number 4. Keep an eye posted on an undefeated St. X team laying an egg at home against a winless team from Kentucky. Wow.
I like to see who Trinity's played to be winless. Oakland Raiders? No. Oakland, listen to me.
Oakland
Los Angeles Raiders. Las
Vegas Raiders.
Took me 3 to get it, folks. I'm old.
Man goes in motion. Third down and 5 now coming back. The handoff is to Walsh. Runs a little bit lateral, then cuts it up north and south. He's not going to have enough for the first down, I don't think. Wouldn't be the first time he escaped from a pile still standing up.
It's going to be 4th down, Joel. Looks like they're 2 yards short. The clock is running.
Clock is running. You asked about Trinity Shamrocks of Louisville, Kentucky.
Yes.
They are 0-5. They have not been closer than 11 points in any game that they've played all year long. Carmel, Indiana. They were supposed to play Moeller. It got canceled due to COVID. St. Rita, Illinois. LaSalle, Male of Louisville, Kentucky. And now St. X. That is a brutal schedule.
Could Moeller overtake Xavier here with the Xavier loss?
I don't think they're going to have enough points, but They could make a run at it.
Wow.
Moeller is playing Elder tomorrow.
In the pit.
In the pit. Another timeout taken by Badin as once again they milk the play clock all the way down. They are now below 2 minutes left to go. They might decide to kick the field goal here and go running clock, or they may decide to go for it. It's 4th and 2 at the 9, maybe the 8-yard line.
I'm going to say Badin would probably go for it, not to run up the clock, but a field goal at this point might be a little bit unprofessional.
Yeah. Well, they're not professionals. So.
All right. What's another adjective?
Moeller is playing Elder tomorrow. Elder is only worth 6 second-level points, and St. X would get 6.5 if Moeller wins.
And as I say that, here comes the field goal team out.
Jackson Neeson, who is not a professional.
I guess they want to practice their field goal.
Well, sure, why not?
Yeah, you got to. You might need it to win.
Well, as Bill Belichick would say, should have stopped us. Neeson's kick is up. It splits the uprights.
And it is good.
Jackson Neeson makes a field goal to cap off the scoring at 31 points. And we will have a running clock with 1:55 left to go in this ball game. It's almost insult to injury. Just give Ultra the time. Come on. Give
Yeah,
it the
it's
time.
1:55. Come on.
Come on. Dan, what do you think about the Badin Rams?
I knew they were good, but they're exceptional. And I knew their defense was awesome. To pitch a shutout against Alter is pretty amazing.
Almost a shutout. We'll see what happens. Alter's going to get one more shot.
I'll bet good money it's going to be a shutout.
I would too. The way that this game has gone, the only thing Alter's really done to move the ball takes a lot more than 2 minutes to get it done.
Unless they pop a long one, kind of like what Badin did in the first half.
You wonder what Badin's going to do kickoff-wise here.
No one knows.
Could be an onside kick. I mean, it could be, right? It's in their arsenal.
I'm gonna guess they try and boom it to the end zone.
Okay.
Well, what are you gonna guess?
I'm going to go with a little pooch kick.
To
the middleman, see if any one of them wants to fair catch it.
Okay.
Or if the ball goes trickling out, maybe Badin covers it and just takes knees and ends this thing. Neeson's got the ball on the tee at the 40-yard line.
Here we go.
And he pooches this way up in the air.
Why is that?
And a whistle blows. It's going to be offsides, I think, on Badin.
You're right.
Yep. They were past the line of scrimmage, or past the ball when the ball was kicked. That was absolutely that pooch kick, little onside kick attempt.
It was beautifully executed if it wasn't offsides, because by the time the ball came down, there's probably 5 Rams there and 1 Alter player.
And the Alter player didn't try to call a fair catch on that.
No, he didn't.
The ball could have sprung loose very easily there.
Certainly.
I'm not going to lie. Once that ball went up in the air, the whistle blew. I took my eyes off where the ball was going to land, because you're looking at the flag at that point in time. The play is dead. But
Right. Maybe the returner for Alter also knew the play was dead.
all right. This will probably be a squib now. I'm going to say they're going to change the kickoff strategy now that Alter knows what's coming. This will be a little squib kick.
Well, Alter's not expecting a long kick because their back return man is close to the 20-yard line.
Ooh.
So
Neeson's going to set the ball at the 35-yard line now. And again, if you want to compare similar scores,
yeah,
McNick beat Alter 20-7 last week and fought tooth and nail to get it done.
there you go.
31-0 Badin. That's a convincing statement.
Very.
Rams in the last 2 games. Okay,
And he
that's
booms the kickoff.
Deep inside the 20. Going to be returned by Wayner. Colin Wayner.
Boom.
Chased down by Nate Ostendorf in special teams.
Nice tackle by Nate.
He's happy.
Yes,
Coming
he
off
is.
the field, slapping high fives with his buddies. Badin in the last 8 quarters has outscored Alter and Carroll now by a score of 93-0. How's that? Hello.
Hello.
This is exactly half of the score they got last week. So Alter, that means you're twice as good defensively as Carroll, right?
That's right.
There you go. Running clock. Wishbone formation. Alter's going to go ahead and take a long time to snap it. Hand off a fullback dive up the middle. He's a hard man to bring down. Antonio Murphy Jr. He wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
But he also wasn't going down to the turf either.
Every tackle on that gentleman takes 4 seconds from start to finish.
He's a big guy.
A herd of Rams.
Herd of Rams, says Dirk Allen Jr., whoever is calling the game tonight, the PA. We do not have Dirk Allen. The ball is not on the ground.
Where is Dirk at tonight?
I don't know. Maybe the Earth, Wind, and Fire concert. Second down and 9.
He and Neil are serpentine fire.
Serpentine fire. I want to party with you, Neil. I want to party with you. First and 10 for Alter as the handoff goes across the line to gain.
Alter is not in any hurry to get off their next play. We're down to
continues to run.
under 40 seconds to go.
Alter does not want to throw a pick six here and risk anything. You know, this game's over.
They have to get one play off Joel or they'll get a 5-yard delayed game. So this will be the last play.
All right. Gavin Connor walks him up one last time in the line of scrimmage in the wishbone formation. He fumbles the snap, picks it up, has nowhere to go, tackled by Badin, and that's an ignominious ending to a shutout of the Alter Knights.
Let me announce this because I've never thought I'd get to say this score.
Go ahead,
Final
Dan.
score, the Badin Rams 31, the Kettering Alter Knights nothing.
Wow.
Convincing.
Big homecoming win at Kumler. We'll be right back to wrap it all up for you. You're listening to the Butler County High School Sports Report Radio Network.
Hey, sports fan! Did you know the OHSAA is among the national leaders in social media? Check out the OHSAA's social media platforms for news, tournament information, accomplishments, helpful links, and all the items available in the fan guide, including photos, DVDs, and publications. Check out OHSAA Sports on Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, and Instagram. And who knows, you may be the next featured face.
A respectful handshake amongst Catholic schools. Badin's got a bounce in their step as they leave the handshake. You can see they're excited.
Yes, they are.
31-0. Dan, you just made a comment off air about defense.
I think if you're a Badin offensive player and you know all you have to score is 14 points and you're probably going to win the game, that has to feel good because that's just how strong Badin's defense is this year.
You look at what Urban Meyer is dealing with the Jacksonville Jaguars and having no margin of error. When you have Badin's defense, it's exactly the opposite. You have an infinite margin of error. If you give up 0 points, you're not going to lose a lot of ball games.
No, you're
You're not going to lose any ball games. Give up 0 points.
That's right.
And I got a Badin staff member here next to me actually saying this is the first time that Alter has been shut out in 8 years.
77 games. Thanks for the stat.
We're going to have to look that up on Joe Idle and confirm that, but we've got the tools to be able to confirm it. That is
phenomenal.
That's something you don't see at all. And not only is your defense that good to give you that big of a margin of error, but then when your quarterback can punt it 50 yards to pin them back, it is really good complementary football that the Badin Rams are playing here. They're going to be a threat to go very far in the playoffs.
And knowing football like you do, Joel, and like I do, defense is always more consistent than offense. It always is.
It plays in any weather.
Yes. And so having a great defense will keep you in every game, and especially for Badin this year. I mean, I did see the game where Badin gave up 17, but the last 2 scores were kind of in garbage time.
Against the second-string defense, it was 31-3 against Roger Bacon at the time.
31-3.
Yeah, it's Badin's defense. This is historic.
Yeah.
It really is.
It is.
And I know that I tend to like the Harbin points because it's computer. It keeps you all within the region. There are coaches' polls of various sorts, I guess media polls. I don't know how you compare Badin to a team from the Cleveland area and how you know with no real common opponents how they really stack up against each other.
Right.
It seems to be, according to these newspaper-ish media polls, that Badin tends to be voted second in the state. And the only team that has really seemed to get much love over them
Who is that?
is Chardon. And they are in Division III, Region 9, up there in the Cleveland area. the Chardon Hilltoppers.
Okay.
They are 6-0. They're playing New Philadelphia tonight. The Hilltoppers against the Quakers.
Well, it looks
Love
like
that.
they have some defense there, too.
Yeah, Chardon's given up 14-0. They gave up 27 to Youngstown Ursuline, then 7-0 to a 5-1 Kenston team last week that they beat 49-0. So
Wow.
Chardon Hilltoppers first in Division 3, Region 9. And point total, Badin actually has a little bit more Harbins than Chardon, but it'd be a much closer race between Badin and Chardon than Badin and anybody else in their region right now.
That's something you might want to look at. And you hate to look that far ahead.
I mean, that's week 16. You're not going to see them until the state finals.
Right.
Up in Canton. Badin's
Well,
got a lot of work to do before you get there.
Yeah, you can't think that far ahead. What's old Jim Moore used to say? Playoffs.
Playoffs. No,
Just want to get in.
I guarantee you Coach Jordy is thinking about Chaminade Julian.
Oh, yes.
That's who they're playing next week. CJ was up 42-0 over Carroll the last I saw, dismantling the poor Patriots, who are the doormats of the GCL co-ed. You feel bad for them. They won their first game right out of the chute, Carroll did. They beat Ponitz Tech.
Rough times for Patriots.
Rough times for the
Brady
Patriots.
leaves them, and now,
And now Carroll's down too.
Now Carroll's down also. Rough time for
No
Patriots.
more Alex Wallach-Kiewicz or anybody else up there either. Yeah, my gosh. At least they're worth 5.5 points because of that win over Ponitz. Everybody in the GCL co-ed is at least thankful they're worth something.
That's right.
It's better than them being worth absolutely zero, which...
Well, I want to say that Joel does know his second level points. He knows his high school playoff formulas, and Joel says Alter still has a chance to get in the playoffs.
Oh,
so
yes,
Alter
absolutely.
fans, don't feel down. You probably need to win out, though.
I would think you would need to win out, or at least I would suggest win the CJ and the Fenwick game.
Okay, CJ.
Carroll is only worth 5.5, so that's not worth as much. But I would think 5-5. If Alter can get there, and they can get there,
Oh, yeah.
I would think a 5-5.
What was the record when they made the playoffs last year?
Well, everybody made the playoffs last year.
That's
Everybody
right.
got it.
Yeah, but they had more losses than they normally do.
Right.
They had 3 or 4 last year.
They only played a 6-game schedule.
Well, that's
So
why.
that's yeah. I think they
You keep forgetting that.
I think they ended up 5-1 or 4-2 last year. I think they beat McNicholas and lost to Badin. I think Badin might have been their only loss last year until they lost in the state semis to Columbus Francis DeSales.
Wow.
Who is also having a bit of a down year in Division III Region 11 this year. And on that note, I think we're done, Dan Vogt.
Yes, I enjoyed it.
Put a bow on this one and a bunch of green smoke, and have a happy homecoming dance tomorrow night to all the Badin students. The Badin Rams 31, Alter Knights nothing. You've been listening to the Butler County High School Sports Report Radio Network. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Looking for future leaders we can believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in Ohio. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It includes learning to listen, accepting responsibility, being a good role model, and it's about respect. The result, it transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and the Ohio Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association. Looking for future leaders we can believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in Ohio. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It includes learning to listen, accepting responsibility, being a good role model, and it's about respect. The result, it transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and the Ohio Interscholastic Athletic Administrators